I've been tracking how much affection my wife gives me. I think she's neglecting me. Oh, that's already so sad.
Already sad.
I, 34 male, and my wife, 43 female, have been together for 16 years.
Someone do that math.
Married for 7. We have a 4-year-old daughter. 16 years. That is 18.
Ooh.
Little dicey, 18 and 27. Hey, maybe it gets better. We have a 4-year-old daughter together. After the first few years, where my wife was very kind, present, loving, and affectionate, things have changed a lot. I rarely receive kisses from her, let alone hugs or kind words. She doesn't ask how I am in the morning, let alone say good morning or good night.
Ugh.
By the way, this comes from Boysenberry Still 1498 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I'm tired of this. I have told her in every possible way that as a man, I need these expressions of love to feel loved. I mean, I think as a human.
I think it's everyone.
I give Sophia a hug every morning.
It's true.
Well,
and I feel loved.
yeah, you better. You better. Her excuse is that she is too stressed because of the child. But these things were happening even before our daughter was born. Or that everything depends on my behavior towards her. Every time, it always depends only on me. When we argue about this, she says I'm exaggerating. Tired of arguing about this for a year, I have recorded in a diary all her expressions of love over the past month. Here, you can see a screenshot.
Please.
I know it may seem exaggerated, but believe me, I am exhausted and don't know how else to show her the lack of love I feel from her. So sad.
I mean, you've told her.
You've told her, and
so
now
at that point,
you're gathering data.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but
yeah.
This makes me sad.
Yeah.
Can you tell me if you, who have a beautiful marriage and are deeply in love with your husband/wife, have so few demonstrations of affection during the month? What I don't understand is that spicy sleepily, things are fine. And we have spicy sleep 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes initiated by her. I am fed up though. I don't feel loved as I would like, and I have lived like this for many years, and now I can't take it anymore. Please don't get mad at me. Everyone needs their own time to understand certain things, and I realized this over the past year. I am a romantic, passionate, and attentive man. Normally, I can give 5 to 6 hugs a day, kisses, compliments, surprises, and I can talk about anything and discuss things in different ways. However, being treated like this makes me shut down and withdraw because of the lack of reciprocity. I am seriously thinking of divorcing because I don't feel heard or understood. I don't see a person who understands and takes action to change the situation. And there are some relevant comments and an update. So relevant comment says, what is the breakdown of shared chores or household work? OP responds, I'm doing 50-50, working, watching the kid, trash, laundry, blah, blah, blah. The fact is that even before the kid, she behaved like that. I don't want my wife to be my mommy, and I'm fully capable to live alone and do everything because I already had. And Gold Pico says, or that everything depends on my behavior towards her. Can you elaborate on this one? OP responds, says, basically we're running in this circle until some months ago. I don't receive what I ask, affection, and I'm treated poorly. So after a long time of patiently waiting for change, I stonewall/get offended. We have a fight because of this. She says she has enough of stonewalling and me being offended because it hurts her. When we end the fight with me being the one that swallows it and tries to let it go, I try to tell her what is causing this and to take action. Time passes and we're again from the start. Sounds like a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Some months ago, I read about stonewalling and how bad it is, so I ended it, and still, it's really hard for me to get through this lack of affection. The problem is that I've been also treated very bad during these fights, yelled at, called names, divorce threatened by her side. I'm hurt on so many levels. Ocean Poet 87 says, what are you doing to love her back? I feel like the diary can backfire because it focuses your emotions on her actions rather than on what you can control. OP says, the diary is about facts, not my emotions. If I receive no hugs for 5 days in a row, it's no hugs for 5 days in a row. I tell her I love her. I tell her how beautiful she is. I joke with her. I buy her preferred premium soda when I do groceries. I ask her how she feels when she's ill, and I take care of her. But do I feel reciprocated? Nah.
Yeah, I think you just need to you brought it up to her, so I think you have to have a conversation about separating or divorce, unfortunately.
OP elaborates more. Exactly this I feel with this comment. Even if we have a difficult 4-year-old child, we have a lot of relaxed moments where I do kiss her, hug her for some seconds, tell her something nice. It is impossible that she's so stressed that she can't even hold my hand for some seconds. I think that the issue with her is that she comes from a family where the father was really abusive, hitting, calling names, etc., and in constant fights with the mother, cheating. I think that she received love from her mother, but she didn't from her father, and that's the results. But from the other side, I don't understand how she could give me what I needed the first 1 to 2 years of the relationship just because it was new. I also asked how her 2 previous relationships were with their partners, if they complained about these things, but she says they didn't, and that she was giving them hugs, etc. But in this case, they were 3 to 4 years older than her. So it's like, maybe it's like the relationship dynamic or something.
Yeah.
Commenter says, I'm not saying you were immature for your age, but you were still an 18-year-old.
I mean, you're 18, yeah.
Yeah. You can only be so mature at that age, you know? I'm saying she had to be very immature for her age because it doesn't make sense otherwise. There has to be some manipulation there from her that you missed because you were an unassuming young man. Like you said, she had experience from previous relationships. She knew how to woo you in and get you to commit. Opie says, thanks. Why would a nice 27-year-old woman pursue an 18-year-old and manipulate him and get him to commit? What are your hypotheses? Thanks.
I don't think it's like, even to OP's question, I don't think it's necessarily a conscious like, ooh, I'm planning to trap this 18-year-old. It's
just what
you have
she's
emotionally
with.
Well, you have an emotionally immature woman who clearly has some trauma from childhood, and she feels more in control when you have this large power dynamic and age difference.
And Kimberly Fine says 2 previous relationships. Wasn't she 18? No. He's 18. She was 27. Okay, and then looking at the, oh man, okay.
No good nights, no good mornings. Interesting talks with 100% attention, none.
So he's only had nice words on 3 days. He's only had a hug 4 days out of the month. He's only had kisses 5 days out of the month. And he's only had an interesting talk with 100% attention 1 day out of the month.
And also, nice word, I complained about it the night before. Kisses, nice words, and hugs, I complained the night before. Kisses, hugs, after strong quarrel the night. So these are all preceded by conversations where he's like, please give me this. I need this. This is very sad. I just can't imagine doing this.
Oh. So OP says, but again, if you're 27, young and beautiful, won't you be able to do the same to same age men like you or older? They also already have everything in their life. Commenter responds, no, because older men have more experience too and are harder to manipulate. Maybe they didn't want her for a reason. Maybe they saw she didn't have enough to offer for a long-term relationship. I'm guessing only you know the truth. And OP responds, so you think they already understood her lack of affection and attention for a long-term relationship? The issues I'm having right now? I always thought that she doesn't have respect for me also because of the age gap and doesn't treat me well. Commenter says, when you think back to getting married, did she lack affection the majority of the marriage? If so, then yeah, I guess other men probably noticed early on and didn't want to put up with it. If you feel she doesn't respect you, then that is a whole other problem. Do you feel she looks down on you? OP responds, yeah, she did. I don't know how they were able to spot that. OP responds to multiple comments regarding the age gap, him being 18 and her being 27 at the time. He says, she was not pursuing me. We just met in chat back in the old days. We talked, and then the interest was born. She was very skeptical to consider me seriously because of the age, but after some time, she did. We met, we engaged. Could you please elaborate on feel like the age gap could play a huge part? What is your POV? OP says, I was way more mature at my age because of my hard life before 18. So I wasn't in a mature 18-year-old freshman. I get your point, but you're missing some info. Maybe I was more mature and she was less mature, but still, I don't get why she had 2 relationships with guys 3 to 4 years older than her. So you think they already understood her lack of affection and attention for a long-term relationship? The issues I'm having now, I think he's repeating a little bit.
Yeah, but I think like he's like, oh, why would she have been in a relationship with older guys? I don't even think it necessarily has to do with those older guys realizing that she was lacking something.
Yeah.
I think it's her, like maybe she gets out of those relationships and then she wants someone that she can have a little bit more control over who is not as able to pick up on these signs.
Well, it's also just not that premeditated.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think it's just like you fall into something and then you are able to stay in that relationship because they, like the 18 18-year-old doesn't
Yeah.
like
And maybe
2 years into it doesn't pick up on those signs. So
Yeah,
it's like,
the
oh, this
older
is normal.
people might have picked up on signs that the relationship wouldn't
Yeah.
work. He didn't, and it wasn't because she was like, I've got an 18-year-old that I can manipulate. It's just like, oh, they just ended up staying in the relationship because the 18-year-old didn't realize that a relationship could be different.
Yeah.
And something that I feel like, I've learned in relationships is there's a lot of stuff that I totally like accepted and let slide that I realized in dating other people, wait, it doesn't have to be normal.
Yeah.
And it's like you can have like loyalty in a relationship and honesty and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to like forgive.
No, it's like when you ask for
lies and
things and
stuff,
they're like no, and you're like, oh well, I guess that I shouldn't have asked for that. And it's like, no, you're allowed to ask for those things that you want.
Yeah, and I think that's part of like becoming mature.
And I think to OP's point about like, oh well, I'm a more mature 18-year-old. You might have experienced harder things, but you're still 18, and there's this 27-year-old has gone through a lot more life.
Yeah, dude. I think about like how different I was at 18 versus I'm 27 right now. Like a whole lot of life.
Yeah. You can behave differently, but your brain is not fully formed. So you're still immature in that sense.
Another commenter said, did OP do something for his wife? And if so, what was her response? OP says, yes, 2 months ago. I even questioned myself to the point I treated her like a princess for 2 weeks straight, not getting offended, telling her constantly how I love her, how sexy she is, hugging, kissing a lot of times with hearth. But what I received in return, just 2 compliments and one I love you in 2 weeks.
Ugh.
After this, I felt so bad and not reciprocated that I decided to do this test, if you want to call it this. And I couldn't do it anymore. It just hurt too much. And there is another update. This feels like different relationship dynamics. Like we were talking in an earlier episode about like there's people that just can't travel well together.
Yeah.
There's people that this kind of relationship dynamic and this lack of affection might work okay.
People who don't like a lot of physical affection.
Yeah, and it's not like she's doing anything like egregiously wrong. She's not listening to her partner, which is like a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's like not giving affection isn't it's part of it's part of what he needs for a relationship.
I also think
if she wants to be in a relationship with him, it's like she needs to give this, but it's not like necessary. It's not like cheating. It's not like a
But I think it is like this is something that is brought on because of how she grew up, and it is something she needs to work through.
Yeah, I mean, if she wants to be in the relationship,
absolutely.
Right? But I think like if this is something that she just can't give, then that just means this isn't a relationship that they can be in.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's what I mean. It's like, it sucks, but this just seems like 2 very different ways of approaching a relationship that are incompatible.
Yep.
And you could ask someone to be more affectionate all you want, but if it is so against their natural state of being, it's going to be really hard for any meaningful change to happen.
Yeah.
And Certified Jen says it's neglect. I think like it, I do think it is, but I also think it's like just might be that is just not who she is. Cheryl Dye says they are just not compatible. Well, I feel like it's a combination of neglect and incompatibility, and both are very high. Yeah. Like they don't have enough care, or she doesn't have enough care for him to meet him like halfway, and she's incompatible. So it's kind of like both. But yeah, I would love to know from you guys. Do you think like this is something that can be saved? Is it just incompatibility? I would love to know what you guys think. Ellie says, I just want to know, he says time without kind words. Does that mean she's not giving compliments, or is she just being mean? Is she snapping and being snarky all the time? I think it sounds like there is moments of that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Kim Roberts says, how is affection with her child?
I also think OP said he noticed a difference in the past 4 years, like after around.
No, he noticed the first 2 years were good, and then
okay.
It was before the relationship or before the child.
Oh, before the kid. Okay.
You noticed this. Mm-hmm. Kirsten, says maybe OP and wife need to go to couples therapy. Yeah, if you want to save it. Yeah. Cheryl Dye says she's not even trying. Yeah, it doesn't sound like she is.
Yeah.
Certified Jen says she hasn't put forth any actual effort, so I think it's a lost cause.
I agree. I mean, he's tried to bring it up multiple times, like many times, with no change.
All right, update. So those days after publishing the post, I've spent a lot of time reading online, watching reels, watching YouTube videos to better understand my situation. And thanks to all of these, I discovered the issue of avoidant attachment style. I was stunned by how closely my wife fit the description, and I set out to thoroughly study the case. I also identified other things I should do in my relationship, set clear boundaries, demand that my requests are understood, respected, and fulfilled, stand firm in my position, and if necessary, and make it clear that I am willing to leave. I showed her the Excel sheet to my wife the next day, And her first response was, but yesterday we cuddled. I told her, look at the facts over the past month. There are things you never do, and the few things you do are a result of my complaints or arguments. They're not debatable. I'm sorry. Then I told her what I discovered and how she fits into the case. I read her the main characteristics of these people and the types of traumas they have gone through in their lives. I explained to her, knowing her personal family story, this was mainly thanks to the abuse she received when she was a kid from her parents. My wife was stunned and listened, then asked me, so what should I do to solve this? My answer? I don't know, because I really don't know. The thing I do know, and what I told her, is that these problems were generated in her childhood and they need to be addressed now. I'm now informing myself about the options available to solve or at least alleviate these issues. Sadly, we have difficult schedules, so therapist is off the table for right now. But during the day, I cried a lot because finally, after 16 years, I understand why we had these problems. A strong sadness came over me because I recalled all the situations where I was treated badly, with indifference, and didn't receive the affection I wanted. I also remembered all the lies and manipulations used over time to cover up her shortcomings. I think the first step is to focus on myself and solve my own problems, since I developed an anxious attachment style. I'll probably use an online course and books to do this, since I have very little time between my daughter and work. If it works, I will propose to my wife, who says, I understand, don't worry. Now I know what I need to give you without courses or anything, but I have serious doubts about the statement and will continue to track what happens in my diary.
No, she's like, oh, I don't need any help. I'll do it myself. Which is not the solution.
No, I mean, like, you
You
need
need
to put
outside
in the work.
help.
And we'll continue to track what happens in my diary to have objective data. Jellybit says, why so analytical? I mean, I think he's trying to paint a clear picture of like what is actually happening, because
Especially because he's been talking to her about it and saying like, hey, I need this, and it's not getting through to her.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, you know what? Here's proof.
Yeah. And I think sometimes you kind of need that proof.
For yourself, too.
So for yourself to understand what is really going on. Susan S. says, the story is triggering to me. I totally relate to the wife. I still think the spreadsheet thing is creepy. I mean, everyone has different ways of understanding their worldview. Like, is writing in a diary about what happened in the day creepy? Some people are just more analytical. Like, I think, like, if you don't think writing in a diary is creepy, I don't think this is that much different. It's just a little bit more analytical, because OP sounds
more analytical.
More analytical. I've already told her that if, unfortunately, this situation doesn't resolve, I will proceed with divorce. And when I do, if forced, I won't go back. That will be the end. I will also follow the excellent advice from Feeling Okay 2951. In the meantime, I will let you know what happened. Personally, I want to see how things go next week. I am sure, unless I am mistaken, that my wife will only last 3 days. In any case, I will continue my path to heal and be ready for a new relationship when the time comes. Stay tuned. If anyone has experience with spouse healing from avoidant attachment styles, please let me know. And we have another update.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the wife is trying to say that she can move forward from here and like make change, but
she's not.
She's not actually wanting to do anything to.
I feel like it's like, hey, I really want to be like the best power lifter in the world.
Yeah.
But I don't need to go to the gym.
Nah, I'm just
I have everything I need.
Yeah.
I have everything I need.
Just go start lifting.
I'm just gonna I'll start lifting when I go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll start lifting then. I don't need to do it. Ashamar says, it just seems weird to me. He is tracking her every day. I mean, he's tracking their relationship. And it was like a month. Again, like, if you were to write this in a journal, would it be different? And I think that's like the question. If you think that's weird, then maybe you just think that's weird. But like, I journal every day about things that go on, and maybe this is like his version of a journal. I don't know. Ayala says, I think something else is going on. If she was really into him, nothing from her childhood would cause his behavior. But shall we get into
the update?
The updates. So, as expected, my wife lasted less than 3 days. Actually, just one. In terms of giving kisses, hugs, cuddling. But it doesn't matter. Wait, actually, one real quick note. I remember we were reading a story not too long ago. And it was like this thing where this woman was married to this guy, and she's like, yeah, I found myself like always checking his text, always like seeing if he was talking to girls because he had cheated on the past, and I had caught him like, like texting other girls and like sending spicy pics. And what I realized is I was exhibiting all of this crazy behavior because I didn't trust him, right? And so it's like, really, I should have, once the trust ended, I should have stopped the relationship.
Yeah.
But what I did is I kept in the relationship and then adopted a behavior to make up for the trust that was lost by being hyper observant and controlling. But really, I just should have just ended the relationship. And to go back to what Ash was saying, like, I think it is weird to track this, but it's because he is staying in a relationship where he already knows, like,
it's not working.
It's not working. The affection is gone. The relationship is broken in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And when a relationship is broken, I think people compensate in very unhealthy ways, like being hyper observant and controlling of how someone is interacting with other people or with their phones and stuff like that. Or creating a spreadsheet of affection, like this is a weird behavior that comes out of a place of a lot of pain.
Yes. And just means this relationship is not healthy anymore.
Yeah. And he definitely should keep going to self-therapy or single therapy.
Absolutely.
If she's not going to do couples. But it doesn't matter. I found all the things I need to fix me, so I'm starting my journey alone in order to be able to grow and be able, without hesitation, to proceed with a divorce and not go back to her. I'm also seeing a lawyer to have everything checked before I proceed in the future. The interesting thing is that I listed all my insecurities and issues related to the trauma I experienced in my childhood, and I see a lot of things that I need to work on to fix in me. I asked out of curiosity to my wife, what are the top 3 things she thinks should be fixed, expecting them to be at least 10 items, but she told me that defensiveness and stonewalling are the only 2 things that, without them, I would be the perfect husband. I was stunned and confused the whole day. I also asked if removing these 2 things would result in her loving me more, but she told me no because she already loves me the way I am, and this is just my cross. So it seems she's happy with the marriage while I'm not. I want more from a relationship, at least the basic caring of a wife. I don't think I'll give you any other updates because I'll be focused on improving things in myself. But once the time comes for me to proceed with the divorce, I'll let you know what happens. Stay tuned. And we got some relevant comments from OP, but it seems like OP's doing what is good for him.
Yeah.
And ultimately, for
I think,
both of them.
No, I think it's not working. And regardless of whether or not it's working for her, it's not working for you. And that's the most important thing for you.
Yeah.
So I think, you have to end it.
And I think what is interesting is we are getting the wife's perspective. They're not getting like the wife's perspective. Obviously, we're only getting OP's perspective, but it does seem like she's validating him, that she feels like the relationship is working.
On her end, at least.
On her end. Would love to know from chat what you guys think. Susan S. says the story is so one-sided. Sophia Callan says, I agree. Josephine Medola Burquest says, leave her. Cheryl Dye says, I'm not very demonstrative at all. One of the reasons I'm single, I like my personal space. And Heliana Bain says, hopefully he will stay single for a while. So OP responds on how he's moving forward and working on himself. Thanks for sharing your story. While I'm trying to start my healing process, I'm literally crying every day preparing for myself for my divorce. The probability of her changing is less than 1%, and the issues we have are deep-rooted in the past. I tried everything to get her attention. I gave her all the love I could possibly give. I tried so many times to accommodate her way of being, but I've had enough. I'm heartbroken. My dear wife, my dear lovely wife, my first woman in my life, I did everything I could to love her with all my heart and be recognized for this. Love for this. Every small bid for attention is lost in the dark. I'm really heartbroken. I'm just preparing myself for the divorce, trying to cry out all the tears before I finally tell her I'm leaving. It's one of the most difficult things to do in my life. And believe me, I did crazy and difficult things in the past. This one is going to kill me, but I need to proceed. I can't live like this any longer. I don't want my child to see and become like this, because the chances for her to find a good partner will lower considerably And the comment said, did OP try to connect with his wife over the years, being affectionate in their marriage?
Like,
OP said, yeah, I tried for a couple of years also during COVID, but man, it was hell. Me just working, playing video games till 1 to 2 in the morning, sometimes watch a movie with her where she would always fall asleep. No real connection, just me doing something and her on the phone. I remember one time one friend of ours said that he was about to disconnect from the game because he was requested by his girlfriend that they wanted to stay with him and watch something together. I tried this, but it feels to me like I'm always missing something. I don't have that deep connection. I'm alone and I feel alone. Then when we have arguments, I have no love bank filled to be able to face that. You know, sort of like, okay, you're mean to me, but 3 hours ago you were kissing me, telling me I love you. I only have negative feelings. Also, this way of being, it's not me. I want to feel wanted. I want to be cuddled. I need love. If I'm feeling bad, I want someone being able to hug me and tell me, sweetheart, don't worry, everything is going to be all right. She never does this. Instead says things like, level up. Life is hard.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
He's just a lover boy. He's just like, I just want a hug. And she's like, get over it.
Where's that grind set?
Pick yourself up, soldier.
Left, right, and walk yourself out the door. I know that it's her traumas, and I don't leave any resentment towards her. I just can't keep up with this. Also, I love to give. Stopping from doing so is devastating. I also have other issues, like she almost never initiates any discussion, doesn't allocate time for me. It's always me chasing her, and I have enough of it. Spicy sleep can't be our only way of connection. She's always with me, but her mind is somewhere else. I tried to enter in her mind, but no luck in 16 years. It's been a full year that I'm talking about this issue with my wife, and she frequently denied it by saying, like, it's not true. Tomorrow I'll show you. This is very morning I gave you a kiss. I'm affectionate. See, other couples, they don't engage anymore after all these years, blah, blah, blah. How do you feel after one full year of sweet attempts to talk about an issue? And frequently she would say that her lack of affection is due to me doing XYZ. I had to create the spreadsheet to have evidence of an issue. And the evidence shows that the affection I receive, it's only when I have a fight with her or I complain the day before. One day of change followed by weeks of nothing. It bothered her and she was angry for sure. I get the frustration of seeing something like that, but does she get my 1 year frustration? And I'm not threatening to divorce over a spreadsheet. I'm threatening over 1 year of trying to talk and solve this issue. I could have said, I'm done by 1 year ago. I rather fought with everything that came to my mind. Yeah, so I created a spreadsheet after months and months of no affection. So you could create a spreadsheet with 0 in every cell for 90 days. You don't know what you're talking about, and surely you don't know what it feels like to receive no affection in a marriage for so long. Do I have personal issues and traumas? Yes, sir, and I'm going to address them. Does my wife have issues and trauma? Yes, sir, but is she going to do something about it? No. At least this will be the most probable scenario. So hence the divorce, so she can provide her carelessness to whoever she wants to.
Woo. Man. Yeah, I think the divorce is the way to go. It's not working anymore for OP, and
yeah.
It's hard to parent in those conditions
but
too.
But maybe this will be the move they both need.
Yeah, to change.
To change. Hopefully. Lala says she sounds depressed. Duchess Cassandra says, all this story is way too triggering for me. Sorry, Duchess.
Oh,
hopefully it gets better.
Yeah.
Kelke says, it's sad because her marriage is 90% better than her home life marriage. That's why she doesn't see it the way he does.
I mean, that's what he was saying. He was saying about his kid. He doesn't want his kid to look at this and think that this is how relationships should be. And this is kind of, that is the case for her.
Yeah.
I mean, she saw the relationship of her parents, and now she's kind of bringing maybe a less extreme, but still not great version of that to OP.
I feel like for his own good, he has to let her go.
I agree.
Which is what Susan S. said. Please let her go. So we got a new update. And welcome to the depressing stream, by the way. Not much light in this stream, except for the proposal. Oh, that makes it all better.
It's all good.
Oh, so good. Joy's on tap any moment we want. So, update 3. I decided to write an update on my story and let you know where things are going. So I began my journey of shadow work on my own. I thoroughly read about how to do it, studied everything carefully, and started confronting with much pain my past and what I experienced in my family of origin. The first thing I realized was this very clingy and needy part of me that craved love a bit too much. And I understood that a wounded and defenseless child lived inside me. I realized I needed to embrace him, hold him, and take care of him myself, as I was the only one who could give him unconditional and always available love. It might sound strange, but realizing this allowed me to somehow talk to my deep self, embrace him, and make him understand that now I comprehend I am here, I protect, and I am here for him.
I didn't realize that OP was talking about himself.
Yeah,
I thought
himself.
it was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is like parts work.
Yeah.
From that moment, I stopped seeking attention from my wife, a total reset. And with the new love, I now know how to show myself I feel calm, secure, and most importantly, no longer needy. I stopped seeking my wife entirely. No kisses, no hugs, no sweet words, and zero conversations initiated by me. If she wants to, she can do it. Otherwise, I am no longer interested. I am happy with myself. In the 2 weeks this has been happening, she hasn't complained about anything. This made me realize that my hypothesis regarding her type of attachment was correct. After realizing this, I understood almost all the things that trigger me in my marriage and why, linking them to the traumas I experienced in the past. I first tackled the issues of criticism and stonewalling. I discovered that because of how my mother treated me and all the physical and verbal abuse from my stepfather, who hated me, always hypervigilant in trying to understand if I was in danger and if anyone wanted to harm or criticize me. I suffered immensely reliving all this again, but I managed to understand why I was triggered, reasoned about why all this happened, and tried to put myself in my mother and stepfather's shoes to understand why they became the way they did. I know both of their childhood stories, and I have radically desensitized myself from this. Without going into details, I told my wife that I resolved that one problem she always talked to me about and to see the results in the following days. In the following days, there were countless situations where I normally would have exploded and or stonewalled, but I got through them calmly and unscathed without being triggered.
Really quick, I love that, but I also think it's kind of funny. OP's like, I just wanted to let you know I've resolved those issues. Just like one day comes, I resolved them. And then from that point on,
man.
I'm good now.
Yeah.
Drama, done.
Gone. Yeah.
Gone.
Done. I'm a perfect guy. I'm walking on water, even in important situations. This made me happy because I realized how much of my past was negatively impacting my present. Unfortunately, although we no longer have frequent arguments with my wife, she hasn't had significant changes. I just saw her happier and calmer, but she hasn't changed at all. I'd asked her before starting this journey if resolving this issue would make her the loving, present, in-love woman from 2008 again. She said yes, but I have yet to see any changes. Some evenings she has come to hug me for barely 3 minutes. Once she gave me a quick kiss, calling me love. That's it. It's okay. At the moment, the focus is that I need to heal. What surprised me the most instead was the rapid response of my 4-year-old daughter. Becoming calmer and more confident. I saw a surge in her tranquility and happiness, and now she wants to play and spend time with me much more willingly. She immediately noticed the change and feels very secure with me. This filled me with joy, and I bonded even more with her.
Aww.
Continuing the shadow work, I am now dealing with another theme, the constant arguments and rejections from my stepfather whenever I ask for something. Every time I ask for something, like going out with friends, going to eat pizza, playing soccer, or some money to buy a sandwich in the evening, there were always constant arguments where he said no. I had to fight with him, argue endlessly. Besides the many no's, he always repeated the no's were tied to things I hadn't done or things I had done wrong, which is kind of similar to what OP's wife did. I won't go into details now because otherwise this post would become too long, but believe me, he hated me and nearly drove me to unalive. Reliving all this crap, I understood the dynamics in my relationship with my wife, who, although she does a lot wrong, always tells me that everything depends on me and what I did/didn't do with her. I am almost done addressing this aspect. I love how he has like health bars on all of his drama.
Yeah.
The rejections from my stepfather, my inferiority, anxiety, low self-esteem, and little by little, I'm discovering a sea of self-esteem, grit, determination, and anger that lies within me. With my wife, I'm becoming a different person, confident, strong, understanding her needs as well. In these 2 weeks, I've experienced a calm and serenity that I hadn't felt in a long time. 0 arguments with my wife and 0 dramas. But unfortunately, there is a but.
The thing is, whether or not OP is making this change, I don't think that you can fully get to, or he can fully get to where he wants to be in his life without leaving his wife.
Yeah. I think he's like, I'm doing all this, but my wife isn't changing. But that's not the point. Like,
it's not about you doing something for her. It's about you doing it for you. And if you're not seeing any effort on her end, then the relationship is over.
I feel like it's been over for a while.
I think so too. I think it's been over for like years.
And I think he does know that. But
I mean, he made a spreadsheet.
As you know, we have had a stressful situation with our daughter, and sometimes the days are very heated, like 2 days ago. In one of these, my wife verbally insulted me using various bad words, but I confronted her without using bad words or anything, that she can save that behavior for the street friends, not for me, her husband. I hadn't done anything wrong in that situation. The next day, we had another situation where she physically threatened to slap me. Again, I wasn't scared, but rather a strong anger and desire to defend myself arose within me. I told her she absolutely must not dare, and I no longer tolerate these things. I'm not the same person anymore, and I am not afraid of her. So my life now is really heated with many problems and changes happening. Doing this shadow work hurts, but the results are there and are evidence.
You need to leave her.
Yeah. I'm finally understanding myself, helping myself. My self-esteem is rebuilding, and it is drastically changing my family dynamics. I am also going to lawyer next week to clearly understand my situation and what a divorce would entail regarding my daughter, money, and other factors.
Yes.
Gosh dang, about time.
Yes.
Finally, I am no longer afraid of being left or leaving my wife, which is what has held me back for 16 years from taking this step if necessary. I'll end with 2 things. I hope to heal quickly. Now that I am healing, I can more easily recognize my wife's problems and how to help her. I aim to be at least 90% healed before explaining to her how I resolved my issues and what I am now.
I think going back, OP is very analytically minded. The fact that he is...
I am 90% healed. And now I'm completely healed.
I don't know if you can necessarily quantify your healing in that way. But
OP can. He's got the spreadsheet to prove it.
Sure.
Many of you criticized me for my Excel diary, which many in chat also did, but it was useful to do it. Not so much for my wife, but for me. Now that I recognize my flaws, insecurities, fears, anxieties, and triggers, I know what to work on. Until next time. And we have additional information from OP.
Woo.
OP says, I'm using the time to heal. Having someone who triggers you helps you understand yourself better. Once I'm healed, and I'm sure I can proceed with the divorce with calm and serenity if things don't improve. She needs to heal as well, but now I'm not in the position to tell her anything or to expect anything. First, I need to heal. If she decides that she is okay the way she is, then bye-bye is guaranteed. And OP on what resources he used to deal with his trauma. OP responds, nothing specific. I'm just using a moleskin and pen. I'm exploring my traumas with 5 questions. What am I doing right now? And explain what triggers me. How/what are the emotions involved, and what are the people involved? And I try to be as honest as possible. Question 2, what are past experiences that led me to this behavior? I explore my childhood trauma related to this behavior, what happened, just stating facts I remember and connecting the dots. Why this happened, where I explore the people involved, mostly my mother and stepfather. I put myself in their shoes and understand their trauma and POV, so they no more are monsters now, but simple grown children with traumas and issues. I then have compassion for them all, and I forgive them. What did I understand? Well, where I reason on what I understood by answering the 3 questions above. And 5, what do you want to say to yourself? Where I talk to myself and hug myself to explain to myself that it is okay to feel the way I do, that I'm strong now and I'm here for me. And then I feel free.
Yeah.
And there's another update.
I think it is good It's very good that you're doing all of that work for self-improvement. I just think that like also therapy could help. This is, I think, a type of therapy.
He was doing some therapy, but I guess
if he's doing individual therapy and this, then he's fine. That's great. But if it's just this,
yeah,
I mean, it's still great. I think it's still an excellent way.
You know,
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Not everyone has the ability to like trust a therapist
or like financially pay
pay a therapist. Kirsten DeJu says, I think his questions are pretty smart to ask yourself. Yeah, I completely agree.
I think it's a great step. Yeah.
Yes. Like,
I think it's the fact that he's still staying in this relationship kind of tells me, I'm like, maybe we need a little bit more outside help too.
Yeah, no, agreed. Like, I think it can definitely help, but I want to laud OP for
I mean, a lot of people can't do
taking time to do the work, and doing work by yourself, it ain't easy.
No.
And it really does feel like OP is
doing that work.
I
agree.
So, update 4. It has been 7 days, and I want to give you an update on how things are going. I'll break it down into points to make it easier to read. 1, my healing process. It's going really well. I've dealt with more issues from my childhood, and all of this has given me incredible confidence and self-esteem. After years of hating myself and calling myself awful names, I looked in the mirror and loved myself. I actually said, I love you, and you are the most important person in my life. I love you exactly as you are, with your strengths and weaknesses. These were the words I always sought from a woman, but my wife never said or made me feel this way. I did it for myself. Now that I've matured, I've realized I've become a man for the first time. I realized that no one was going to come up and help me, and that it was all up to me. I understood that everything is my sole responsibility, and I alone can change what happens in my life. Susan S. says, to be honest, it sounds like OP only cares about himself. I don't think that's completely fair. I feel like this is someone coming into their own. He's felt like unheard in his marriage. He's felt abused by his parents. I feel like this is what self-development in its early stages can look like.
And I also feel like the focus is not really about other people in this one, because he's using these posts as kind of self-reflection.
Yeah. I wouldn't go into OP like too hard. I really do think he's like making concerted effort to be the best man that he can be. And he's like, he's not going about it like completely well, but I really do feel like he is making strides, and I want to congratulate that, because I think that's a hard thing to do. I understood that everything is my sole responsibility, and I alone can change what happens in my life. From this moment on, when I have a difficult and sad time because of my situation, I no longer end up in despair. I'm there to console myself and lift my spirits. This is so new for me that I'm genuinely happy for the first time in my life. In the coming weeks, I'm tackling the remaining issues. I think I'll be done in 1 to 2 weeks.
See, the only thing I will say is like, he really thinks that he knows exactly how, like, you can measure. You can't measure that.
I feel like self-development is very hard to measure.
It takes a long time.
Hey, maybe he knows himself very well. Who knows?
I don't think anyone can know themselves or quantify or put a timer on when you heal.
Self-development is such a winding, weird path.
Yeah, and sometimes you feel real. I mean, it's the same with grief. It's like sometimes you feel great one day, and then like 2 weeks later you're like, It's not
a linear process.
No.
But why is everything progressing so quickly, you may ask? Well, it's because I'm extremely clear about my problems. I have the will to descend into heck each time to face everything again, and I know how to proceed. I described it last time. Okay.
You're confident. Maybe you're a little bit too confident.
Now,
just a little bit.
All right.
Reel it back in.
2, my relationship with my daughter. My daughter is quickly understanding who's taking control and leading this family. I've noticed that she started to respect me more, look for me more, and trust me more. She's the one who's grasping what's happening the fastest. I am falling more and more in love with my daughter, and I'm realizing how much my personal self-esteem issues were negatively impacting her life. Now that I'm healing, she's healing too. I'm over the moon about this. 3, relationship with others. I've stopped being a people pleaser. I no longer care about looking nice, being agreeable, or thinking about people too much. Simple, precise, and well-formulated interactions without fear. I don't even recognize myself. Every time I act differently from the past, I feel a fire of self-esteem inside that confirms what I've resolved in my mind. 4, relationship with my wife. Obviously, it's not going well, which shouldn't come as a surprise. I'm discussing everything with my lawyer to prepare for the divorce. In my country, there are specific laws and situations to be aware of. My wife is not taking the power shift well, but the disrespect has decreased. I no longer accept being yelled at in the face. It's unacceptable. After several times of trying to calm her down, she threatened me, saying that we need to talk about going our separate ways, that the chances she gave me have run out, that it's necessary to separate for the common good, etc. One particular day, she mentioned it several times in the afternoon, and I replied, okay, let's talk. I agree we should go our separate ways. I need a real woman who loves me. I don't need to stay with you. That feels like it comes from a place of hurt than a place of self-assuredness.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one, OP. Each time she watched my reactions. By the evening, she was silent and didn't say anything. 2 days later, she said again that we should talk about separation, and I again said, okay, no problem. This morning, she put on makeup. I ignored her and came to give me a kiss, saying that for the sake of our family, we need to give the relationship another chance. However, I have understood what happened and why I'm in this situation. When we met, I was 18 years old and insecure. I felt ugly, lonely, and miserable in my family home and was desperately looking for a woman to be with. She is very beautiful, and probably after 2 relationships with bad boy archetypes where she was treated poorly and many dates with people with healthy attachments who recognized her avoidant attachment and didn't continue, she found me, an insecure good guy with nice ideals, to drain all the love and sweetness she could, offering me only her beauty and spicy sleep as a reward.
Dang.
Shit. Without the need to invest in herself, without the need to commit to the relationship. I was very hurt to discover all of this, but we move forward. Sometimes I am angry with her. Other times I think about how broken I was and it was my fault too, but it doesn't matter. My healing process moves forward and takes precedence. To further remove power from her, I told her that I no longer want to have spicy sleep with her. I don't intend to let my mind get clouded by spicy sleep. I need a person who loves, esteems, and cares for me 24/7. Then spicy sleep happens because it is the cherry on top of all the love, not a tool to control me. Until next time.
Ooh-wee! Ooh-wee!
Oh, man. So, again, I want to say, I do think OP is making progress, but that last strand is making me feel like he is not as over things or through all the trauma as he thinks he is.
Someone said in an earlier comment, like they think, oh, this could be like an ADHD hyperfixation where he's like really focused on getting this self-help and getting better and stuff, and he's putting these deadlines on it. But the thing is, I think he's going to find himself getting really frustrated when he's not meeting those deadlines.
Yeah.
And then there, hopefully not, but there might be this regression.
Yeah.
Where like he's feeling on top of the world. He's like, I'm noticing all these changes. And then when that switch comes, which it often does, and then he's going to be like, oh, well, then I'm going to go back into my old habits with my partner. And I think the only way that you can get that actual positive change is to leave this partner.
Yeah, I think he's been with her like for far too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Past the point of him knowing that this is unhealthy for him and for her. It's unhealthy for them both.
Caitlin Montgomery says it's almost like he's lying to himself about being healed.
Yeah, I got
it kind of feels that way to me. It feels like he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. It's great. And it does. I'm not, which is not to discredit any of the work that he's doing.
Yeah.
I think he is doing it and it's good, but I think he's just kind of glossing over.
I have people I know who are always, they're always on like the best revelation ever. And they're like, and now I'm healed. And it's just like, it neglects how much work there is to constantly do.
Yeah. I don't think you can ever say like, I don't know, unless it's been years, I don't think you could be like, yeah, I went on this thing and this one specific thing and I'm healed now.
But what you can't say is it got me closer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love myself
I've been on this
more.
healing journey.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always like, how can you be more truthful with yourself? How can you love yourself more? Well, really, honestly, I think the core of it is like, how can you love yourself more? If you love yourself like really well, it flows over and you end up loving everyone else around you in really healthy ways. If you don't love yourself enough, I think you end up not, you end up with all of this like weird behavior that ends up happening. But that is where that story and
I married an 89-year-old billionaire at 25. I swear I'm not a gold digger.
I doubt it.
You just wait.
Oh, okay.
You just wait, Dakota.
Oh, okay.
So, hi everyone. This is a long one, but I feel like I need to get it off my chest. So back in the early 90s, I, 25 female, a single mom, was trying to survive in a small Texas town. My son was complicated, to say the least. I'd had my son when I was very young, and everything since then had been about hustling to make ends meet. I worked every job you could think of: retail, fast food, cleaning houses. But no matter how hard I worked, I was barely scraping by. To say I was struggling would be an understatement. By the way, this is a story about Anna Nicole Smith on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So growing up, I had always dreamed of becoming a model. I'd flip through magazines and think, that could be me someday. But at 25, with no connections, no money, and a kid to support, it felt like an impossible dream. Eventually, I took a job at a spicy dancing club in Houston.
Oh, we love a good spicy dancer.
Spicy dancing, there you go. It wasn't what I wanted for myself, but the money was better than anything I could find.
Hold me closer, spicy dancer.
Sorry,
That's
just
right.
thinking back at.
That's right.
Sorry.
It's fire adaptation. You can't be mad at it. It would be temporary, a stepping stone into something better. That's when I met Howard, 89 male.
AKA the stepping stone.
The stepping stone. Oh dear. Howard was not your typical spicy dancing club patron.
Was he now?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't say.
You had to be a little fragile with the lap dances. you could use this walker.
Jellypa, not the stepping headstone. Jellypa.
Yeah. He's on the way
dear.
out.
Oh dear, Jellypa. Okay.
Ding dong. Who's
Okay.
that? The specter of death.
Oh no. So he was older, way older, wearing a tailored suit that screamed billionaire in the wrong place. He wasn't leering like most men there. Instead, he seemed genuinely curious. When he waved me over, I hesitated. I mean, I'd seen all kinds of men come through those doors, and I wasn't sure what to expect, but something about his kind eyes made me sit down. We talked for hours that first night. Howard told me about his life, how he'd built an oil empire, how much he missed his late wife. He wasn't just some rich guy flaunting his money. He was kind and thoughtful. For some reason, I opened up to him about my struggles, being a young single mom, my dreams of becoming a model, and how I felt stuck. And instead of dismissing me, he said, "You're special. Don't let anyone make you think otherwise."
I like how it says, for some reason, I started opening up to this guy about my problems and how I want to be a model. Like he didn't tell you he built an oil empire?
I need a place to talk.
I wonder why you were opening up to him.
I need
Could
a
it have
place to
been-
talk. Hey, listen, but in that, beneath that barely operating cardiovascular system, you know what it leads to, Dakota? A heart.
Yeah, a heart. A heart.
Is it barely beating?
A wrinkly old heart that
Yes.
sounds like this when it beats.
But it's beating. For now.
Hey, if someone
This is what, when you put a stethoscope up against this guy's chest, this is what you hear. That's the sound of his heart.
But from that night on, Howard became a regular in my life, not just at the club, but outside of it too. He showed up for me in ways that no one ever has before. Yes, the age gap was massive. After all, he was 89 and I was 25.
dude, you could literally be like, that's your great grandpa right
Could
there.
you, Riley? Could we run some quick maths, please?
Yeah.
My brain is not capable.
My great grandfather is currently 91, and I am 24.
Yes, but what's the exact age gap
It's
here?
basically the same.
That's
Yeah,
the same.
it's basically
Almost
the same.
identical.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
you,
yeah.
I got
It's
you
by
real
like
quick.
1 year.
That is approximately 64 years. You could fit 3 generations between them.
Listen, age ain't nothing but a number.
Yeah, a big number in this case.
Oh my god.
You know how many freaking? No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna say off. You know how many ball sacks she had to
Oh no. Riley.
How
But we're
many-
back. We're back.
how many-
So, but our connection felt real. He was the first person in a long time who saw me as more than just a struggling single mom. He called me his lady love. And for the first time, shut up, Riley, I felt like I mattered to someone.
I'm sorry. He's just like.
We're about to have you sit in the hall, Riley. You're about to be in producer timeout if you don't fix up your act. Okay? Now,
we love it.
after about a year of knowing each other, Howard proposed.
After a year?
Time out. How can he
He waited a year.
propose?
He waited a year. Listen, he doesn't have a lot of time. So
Exactly. That's why I'm like, oh, a whole year he waited.
that's telling you
Did
something.
he propose
okay?
on one knee? Because I don't think he can.
I mean, he had his handlers,
He got in the acorn
Carry
lift. He had her stand on the stairs. He got in his acorn lift and it went. And on the way down, he said, "Will you marry me?"
I was stunned. I knew what people would say, that I was a gold digger, that I was taking advantage of him. But the truth was, I loved him. He was kind, supportive, and made me feel like I was worth something. So I said, yes.
Beautiful.
She said yes. Yes to the dress.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Yes to the ring.
Who would have thought?
We got married when I was 26 and he was 90. The ceremony was small and intimate, just close friends and family. I wore a simple white dress and Howard's smile lit up the room. Of course, there were whispers. People couldn't get past the age difference, but we didn't care. We were in love and that's what mattered. Howard was more than just a husband to me. He became my partner, my mentor, some would say great grandfatherly way, and my biggest cheerleader, despite his limited dexterity.
Mhm. And he became your checkbook.
Oh,
You forgot that part.
He encouraged me to pursue my dreams, something I never thought was possible for someone like me. Modeling had always been a fantasy for me, something I dreamed of when I was young, but never thought I could achieve. Howard, though, made me believe in myself. With his support, I finally started booking gigs. I was thrilled when I appeared in Playboy and became the face of Guess Jeans.
Yeah.
Breaking through.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking through.
Hey, you did it.
It was everything I had dreamed of. And Howard was always right there, proud of me every step of the way.
Every walker of the way. Every wheel spin away.
Nice. Nice one. Nice. High class.
John, why are you so triggered? You're acting like you're his... Oh,
Because
sorry,
he's
you
old.
are his age. My bad.
He's
Sorry.
201.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be ageist right now.
All right. It's all right. That's why we love him.
Yep.
We love him because he's 201.
He relates to this.
Despite the progress in my career, Howard's family never accepted me. His son, Pierce, in particular, seemed to harbor a deep resentment. To him, I was nothing more than a gold digger, a younger woman with no place in the world. No matter how much I tried to show them that I wasn't after Howard's money, they didn't see it. I was an outsider, and no amount of effort could make them see the love Howard and I shared. Their judgment was relentless, and it stung. Howard tried to meditate, but the tension never went away. It was heartbreaking because I knew how much it hurt him to see his family divided. He loved Pierce, but he also loved me, and it felt like he was constantly being forced to choose sides. So everyone, here's my question. Am I the a-hole for marrying someone over 60 years older than me? We have an update coming up. We have an update. We're not even halfway done.
Look, like, I saw some people in chat being like, do they know who this is? It's like, we know what the story is. Right? I'm not hyper familiar with all of the details of this story,
Same.
but this is a very, it's a very recognizable pop culture moment, so we know what it is. However, there's a part of me that's like, there's not a 0% chance that this is inauthentic or like that this isn't authentic. You know what I mean?
Let's talk. I think that there could be an actual relationship here, which is basically like a not grandfatherly per se, but like the old, the more of the mentor, more of the, like, they are able to like open up to each other and like talk and all of these things. She's there to listen. He's there to listen to her. And there is a symbiotic relationship here. It's not that she's just going for the money, which maybe she also is too, but there is like there are more layers to it than that, right?
It could be like a best of both worlds type scenario where
Yes.
it's like, not only is this guy who like, this old man who's going to die soon and has a bunch of money, right? Walks into your strip club and wants to talk to you, but like suddenly you unloaded all of this like emotional stuff off of your chest onto him, and you're like, that actually felt really good, and I feel like I'm seen. I feel like this guy sees me and knows me, and it's not like it was like, let's go down to the chapel in Vegas and get married next week. It was like a year. It took a year. So that's a long time to play the long con with it being entirely inauthentic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, I think the upper limit is like 3 months or something of like telling a lie before it really starts to like become where if you're pretending something like that, where it's like you're in love with an older man or you love an older, you have feelings for an older man or whatever, you're going to be in a committed relationship with this guy.
I think we should ask an expert. I have on the phone right now Samuel Donner.
Oh.
Someone that has been experienced in the relations with another older person.
You go on a date one time with a 47-year-old, and you're the expert.
Is a 64 age gap too much of an age gap to be with someone?
A 64-year age gap?
Yeah. Light work. What are your thoughts?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Just so 27 plus 64 equals 91.
91.
91 years young.
91-year-old?
I mean, like,
And she got some.
is she bad?
She got bad money.
She's bad, dude. And she listens.
She owns an oil empire.
Yeah.
What does the date look like?
I don't know.
What does the
dinner.
date look like? Like, what are you
do I
guys
have to do
doing?
anything? Like, what do I have to do?
You are a spicy dancer, and you're shaking your stuff.
Yeah, you're working at Chippendales.
She comes
Dude,
and hears
spicy
you
dance,
for the first time.
spicy dance on like a Good Friday. Like I don't know. I don't know if I need anything to spicy dance. I do it for the love of the game.
See, you're doing it for the love of the game, but then you open up and you realize, you know what? I did it for the love of the game, but now my soul is complete after sharing your life with this person.
Love has
And
no
$1 billion.
boundaries.
Also on the side.
Yeah, $1 billion and you feel
like $1
seen.
billion helps boundaries erode.
Awesome. Thank you, expert, for your knowledge. We will see you soon.
Thanks. Later.
Ladies and gentlemen, Samuel Donner. Well, guys, we have an update.
Thank God.
Hi, guys. It's been a while since my last post, but I want to give an update. First, thank you to everyone who shared your thoughts and encouragement. This journey has been wild, painful, and at times uplifting in unexpected ways. I've had the time to reflect and wanted to share where things are now. It's been 14 months since Howard passed away.
I knew it. I knew that was what's going to happen.
Yeah.
God, I knew it. I should
It's
said
time to play the game.
He's dead.
It's time to play the game.
No.
She played it. All right,
Oh,
let's
man.
all be real. She played the game and she played it well.
Listen, she got a son. I got a son. I'm out here checking my moneymaker. What's up, Howard?
He
What's
could have
up?
he could have pointed to any other dancer in that club that night.
Talk club is full of women. But who does he point to?
When that finger lands on you, you take advantage of it. You take advantage
And
of
listen,
that old shaky finger.
You don't know. It's going all over the place. You don't even know, is it this person? Is
Yeah.
this person? It's going all over the place. But
You pounce on that finger.
it landed.
You pounce on it.
It landed. Howard was my rock. The one person who believed in me when no one else did. Losing him feels like losing a part of myself, but I don't even have the time to grieve. Within days of his passing, Pierce and the rest of the family filed a lawsuit trying to strip me of everything Howard leaves me. The legal nightmare that I've been tossed into since has been nothing short of catastrophic, consuming every ounce of my time, energy, and resources. I thought it would just be a fight for Howard's estate, but I'm quickly realizing that this is a fight for my dignity, my name, and my right to be seen as a person. Since the trial has started, the tabloids have made this out to be a gold digger caricature. It's been brutal. Howard's son, Pierce Marshall, say his full name, freaking at you, Pierce, has been the worst. He has launched an all-out war against me, and he wasted no time in filing lawsuits to block me from inheriting anything from Howard's estate. According to Pierce, I am nothing more than a manipulative gold digger who took advantage of Howard's age and frailty. In their version of the story, I'm a schemer, a predator who sunk my claws into a vulnerable man. At all of the trials, they keep arguing that Howard wasn't in his right mind when he married me or when he made promises about taking care of me after his death. I've been calling up my own witnesses to confirm Howard's intentions, but they don't care. They haven't cared that he made me those promises repeatedly in front of people who knew him well. None of this matters to Pierce and his legal team. The narrative of the greedy young wife is too convenient to let go, because also, my question is, and again, something to chew on, if OP has a fat portion of the estate and OP no longer is receiving it, well, where's that money going to go? It doesn't go into thin air. Where else would it go?
I think it goes back to Pierce.
I think it goes back to Pierce.
Yeah, they're just trying to keep their money.
You know what I would say? I would say, hey, listen, I would happily not take the money. Let's donate it.
Yeah, that could be the cool guy move.
Let's donate it and see what he does then.
I get the position too of like, look, it's like your dad is 91 and he marries a spicy dancer who's 64 years younger than him. It's like, you know,
a light 64.
And then like, it's like, it looks how it looks, right? Regardless of the truth, it looks how it looks.
I can't really blame the son.
I would probably do the same thing if I was in that position. I mean, maybe not. I would probably have made an effort to get to know, like, is this person a good person? Instead of just immediately assuming, like, you're like, all right, well, he did what he did. My dad decided to marry this woman. Let's find out if she's actually, you know, a decent person. Instead of just being like, no thanks.
Riley wants us to read the comment from Miss Protein. What if it was like A Walk to Remember?
I've never seen that movie.
I don't know what that is.
Like a donation walk?
What if it was like A Walk to Remember? A donation walk?
I don't know what she meant by that. Sorry. She said don't highlight
A Walk to Remember is like a movie.
Too late. Riley was too sweet. But Opie says, I'll update if anything changes with the trial. And we have an update. The first legal battle in Texas probate court.
Duchess Cassandra has a great comment. It says, no way she earned that money. She had to deal with the wrinkly balls and the shriveled twins. It's like, yeah, it's like, hey, Pierce, if you're that upset, how come you weren't in bed with your dad?
Listen, who wants that job? Who wants it, Dakota? Although it is $1 billion. It is $1 billion. So that's a lot, or at least a large sum of money if it's not literally exactly $1 billion.
Yeah. Hey, maybe she really loved him.
I honestly think that it's what we were saying, or what you said, best of both worlds.
Yeah.
She got the money in the end. She changed her life, her son's life, everything. And it also, they had some sort of, you know, relationship where they were able to like emotionally support each other. Remember when he said he had like felt alone or something like that ever since the passing of his late wife?
Yeah.
He's looking for companionship.
Exactly.
And is it much better to get companionship in a hot, young body than something else? He's like, why not? I'm a billionaire. I'm going to go for it.
I can buy whatever I want.
Have
get
any
whatever
companion I want. I want.
And that's what he did. And that's what he did. And that's what he did. But let's get into this update. First legal battle in Texas probate court. Hey, everyone. I wanted to share an update because I have just gone through my first major legal battle in Texas probate court. It's been an emotional roller coaster, but I'm trying to stay strong and keep fighting. This is what Howard wanted, and I owe it to him to see it through. Pierce's legal team has been relentless. They're arguing that I have no legal claim to Howard's estate. According to them, everything Howard gave me while he was alive, cars, jewelry, financial support, should be, quote unquote, more than enough. They're saying that his will doesn't leave me anything significant and are dismissing our relationship as a total sham. To them, I'm just a woman who has already taken enough. Taking the stand has been one of the hardest things I've ever done. I poured my heart out over and over, telling the court I loved Howard and he loved me. This wasn't about money. Was it about money or wasn't just about money?
I think maybe it didn't start as.
Yeah, Riley, can we get a screen share for the audience?
Like, he looks like he's got a lot of personality.
Bro is risen.
He is risen.
Bro is absolutely risen.
I don't think he can.
Hey.
Oh, God.
I don't think he.
All right, we're about to get a look.
1 second, everyone. See me work real quick. Sorry, this is ugly. It's not professional, but
we're getting there. Yeah, blow up that one. You know what I'm talking about. There it is.
Yeah, bro's definitely got a personality.
Bro's got look, bro. Look at
those eyes are bright.
Look at that.
There's a lot of
there's a lot of life in them.
There are thoughts going on in that guy's head.
This guy,
for sure. We've all seen the eyes of someone who has nothing going on.
He's got it. He's got it.
That was not those eyes.
He's got it.
Wait, how long ago was this?
90s.
No way, that's her now.
I think she's dead. Is she dead?
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers.
Well, I mean, is that we know.
I don't know.
We haven't.
This is a very you can't say
Dakota,
no spoilers.
Dakota,
this is a very well-known story.
There are many people that have literally never heard the story ever, and this is why they come to OK Storytime.
It's like it's a celebrity. Well, whatever.
But there's for the one person at least out there. There's definitely one person. I've never heard the story, so it's new to me. Don't spoil it for me.
Yeah. Well,
but
maybe she's alive.
I've tried my best to explain how much he supported me, not just financially, but emotionally, and how our relationship was built on mutual respect and care. But honestly, it feels like the courtroom is stacked against me. Pierce's attorney twists everything I say, trying to make me look like some schemer with a calculated plan, and it's beyond frustrating. We should hear the court's ruling soon, and I'll keep you all posted as soon as I know more. Thanks to everyone who's reached out with the kind words and advice. It means so much to me right now. Fingers crossed for some good news. There's another update.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Update number 3, a roller coaster of emotions. Hey everyone, I'm back with another update, and honestly, it's a mixed bag. I'm still trying to process everything that's happened here, so bear with me. First, the bad news. The Texas court ruled in Pierce's favor. To say that I'm devastated would be an understatement. The ruling doesn't just strip me of any claim to Howard's estate. It feels like it erases the very foundation of our relationship. It's like the court is saying our love never existed, which is heartbreaking. Howard trusted me and I trusted him. For the court to dismiss that so completely feels like a betrayal of everything we shared. But there's some hope on the horizon. My legal team and I have decided to appeal a case in California. Now, the courts there operate under different rules. My lawyers say they tend to have a more progressive perspective, and they think we might actually have a better shot this time. Our argument is simple. Howard made verbal promises to provide for me after his passing, and those promises should be honored. Verbal arguments can hold weight under the right circumstances, and we even have witnesses who can back me up and corroborate what Howard said.
I'll do a little corroboration.
A corroboration.
Oh, well, can you please corroborate what it was said?
Oh, we can corroborate because so far things are looking promising, okay? The California courts have been much more receptive to my case, and for the first time in years, it feels like I might actually win. They've ruled that I have a valid claim to Howard's estate, which is such a huge step forward. For once, I feel like someone is actually listening to me and seeing the truth of our relationship. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. Pierce's team isn't giving up, and they've already appealed the California ruling, trying to drag this case out even further. It feels like every time I take one step forward, they pull me back too. It's exhausting, and I know there are days when I don't know how much more I can take, but then I remember Howard's promises to me, and it gives me the strength to keep going. I won't let anyone erase what we had or what he wanted for me. I'm cautiously optimistic about what's ahead, but I know there's still a long road to go. I'll keep you updated as things progress. Thank you so much for your support and kind messages. It really does mean the world to me. And there's update number 4. We're about halfway through the story.
Honestly, dude, like, get your money, girl. I don't care.
But he was
Get
too
the money.
young. He was gone too soon.
Think about it like this. Who would you rather want the money going to? A single mom who is in the spicy dance clubs trying to support her son through all this, or the rich, probably, let's be honest here, maybe not the coolest guy ever, maybe got some entitlement kind of vibes going on, son of the billionaire?
Oh, what are you
didn't
talking
earn and
about?
build it.
Like, I've heard that when you're like, I've heard nothing but good things about people who are children of like extraordinarily wealthy people.
Right?
They're all very well adjusted and
Yeah.
have never done anything wrong.
They're like the greatest humans that's ever walked the earth, right? Like always, every time, 100%.
Yeah. Do you remember Affluenza?
No.
The guy is some like entitled rich. We should honestly tell that story on here. That's like a true crime story kind of, but it's not horrific. I mean, it kind of is horrific actually in a way. But he was just like out like drunk driving, like committing crimes. Like ended up like I think he ran somebody over with a car, and then just was like, I didn't think I did anything wrong because I've just been so rich and sheltered my whole life. I don't know what right and wrong are. And that was their court case.
Instead of
That was their defense, was that he was so rich, and that's why they called it affluenza instead of influenza. It's like he was sick with being rich, so he
Wow.
didn't know what right was and what wrong was. I think they lost.
Instead of pleading insanity, he pleaded entitlement.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just too rich to know what consequences are,
That's
so you can't give them to me.
insane.
Mm-hmm. Quite
And
literally.
the fact the lawyers went with that is crazy.
They had no other defense, dude. There was nothing else
It's
they could
like,
do.
boys, we are absolutely yeeting this Hail Mary right here,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens. So can we all agree, like, we would rather have the single mom who was like trying to work and make it happen for her and her son? Of come on.
course.
If we had to choose between
At the
two.
end of the day, regardless of her intention, she was a companion for this dude at the end of his life, where no one else was, or no one was providing that for him.
Hello.
If you're his son, don't you at least feel happy that he got to feel like
Happy-
that? He had
Happy
that
last days.
relationship.
I feel like, yeah, because it's like, all right, like the year when he's like 90 or whatever, or like 87, but the final years of his life, that's important. That's like the most important, right? Am I wrong?
And it's got to feel pretty good to be 91 with a 27-year-old wife.
25-year-old wife.
Well, when they
6-year-old
met,
wife, sorry.
right?
Yeah.
20, or I guess, yeah, 26.
26, yeah.
Dude, it's
You
like
got to feel pretty cool, dude.
Right.
It's so weird because like it's like my great grandpa like going on a date with someone I graduated with or like dating someone.
Yeah, but it's not you.
It's not you.
Yeah, but
It'd be really weird if your great grandpa
but it's a
went on
girl I
date
had a
with
crush on. You know, wouldn't that be weird? Like, oh no,
For
he
you,
got,
it would be weird, but for him, it would be awesome.
he got Haley Smith and I never could.
He's just got the game like that.
Hey,
Got
maybe
the
if you
like that.
work hard, you can inherit his, the oil tycoon industry that he made.
True.
Slippery slope it is.
Ooh.
A slippery,
quite
a slippery slope it is.
But let's get on to update number 4. The circus continues, but there's hope. Hey everyone, back again with another update on this never-ending saga that is my life. Buckle up because things have gotten easy and even crazier since last time. So, the case has officially turned into a full-blown media circus. The tabloids have latched onto it, and now it's this giant scandal splashed across every headline. Every article I see paints me as a gold digger who hit the jackpot by marrying an elderly billionaire, rather than what I actually am, a grieving widow fighting for what's been promised to her. It's infuriating. They're relentless. Anna Nicole's battle for billions is the headline of the month, apparently. Photographers follow me everywhere, snapping pics of me doing the most mundane things and then twisting them into something salacious. They mock my clothes, my makeup, my lifestyle, and this one hurts, even my parenting. You bring kiddo into this?
Too far, dude.
I'd like you to meet 2 people, right? Ort and Cloud. All right? It's time to go.
The space blender.
You leave Howard Jr. out of this. Okay? Okay, leave Howard Jr. out of this. Yes, I renamed my 5-year-old son.
Howard Jr.
Howard Jr. Little HJ. So, can I just exist without every little thing being dissected and dragged through the mud? And again, just to remind you, who would we rather have this money go to? The struggling single mom or the probably entitled billionaire's kid? Again, what are we doing here? At this point, the courtroom isn't even about legal arguments anymore. It's just the stage where my character gets ripped apart over and over. And also, that would suck to go through, immensely. Right?
I mean, I can't deny that.
Right? Yeah. I'm not just fighting for Howard's estate anymore. I'm fighting for my dignity. I'm fighting to prove that what Howard and I had was real and that our relationship was meaningful and not some sham like everyone wants it to believe. It's exhausting. I'm not giving it up. Now for the good news. Finally, right?
Oh, boy. I can't wait for some good news. Oh, boy.
Stop it. Stop it. I'm going to put you in timeout with Riley.
Okay.
The case went all the way.
It did?
To the Supreme Court.
They had another baby.
To
Howard
the
Jr.
Supreme Court. God damn it. Let me read.
Okay, all right, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh my
Come
gosh.
on now.
Okay.
So,
Yep. She's not giving up unlike her husband did
the big...
on life.
Yeah, what a
Damn
quitter
right.
dying at 91.
Get out of here.
You had another
Get
probably
out.
good 10 years.
The big question they had to decide on was jurisdiction. Basically, whether Texas or California had the right to handle this case. And drum roll, please. They ruled in my favor. That's right. California got that jurisdiction, baby.
Wow.
Let's talk about it.
That checks out.
Let's talk about it. So, this doesn't mean the fight is over, but it is a huge win for me. After so many losses and setbacks, to finally having a victory, especially at this level, is such a relief. I can't even put into words how much this means for me. For the first time in a long time, it feels like there's a glimmer of hope that this nightmare might actually end one day. I know there's still a long road ahead, and Pierce's team isn't going to back down without a fight. But for now, I'm celebrating this win. Thank you all for sticking with me through this. Your support means more than you know, and it keeps me going on these hard days. I'll update you as soon as I have something to share.
Yeah. If I'm Pierce and I'm not like a huge butthead piece of crap, I'm just if they have billions of dollars, I'm just here's 75 million. Is that enough?
Go ahead.
Clearly
Here's 50 million.
Spent so much time and we're loving, whether or not you actually love my dad or not at this point really doesn't matter because he enjoyed all of the time that he spent with you.
Bingo.
So what do you want? The 75 mil? You're not getting everything.
Yeah. You're not getting everything.
You're not getting the company. You're not going to be the sole proprietor of billions of dollars. But
Yes.
What do you need? What do you want?
But do you want to be set? Do you and your son and basically generations want to be set for life? You earn a few percent on 75 million a year. You are done.
Yeah.
Done.
It's okay, 100 million right now.
Let's talk
Done.
about it.
Shake hands, be done.
Or even Riley said 50 million, right? So
Yeah.
50. If you got just 1% a year, that's $500,000 a year.
Yeah, so
That's 1%.
just stick that in a something that gives you interest.
1% interest. That's all. Hey, heck, you know what? Let's get really crazy. 2% interest.
$1 million
$1 million a year.
for having money.
$1 million a year, and then you still got the 50 in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
Yep.
I'm not mad at it, guys.
That's why they all say the first million's the hardest, because once you have a lot of money, it just starts making more money.
It just be making more money. But guys, we have relevant comments. That's right.
I wonder what they say.
Damn it! Commenter number 1. Your case is a tragic example of how the media can exploit personal struggles for entertainment. Commenter number 2. The legal fight over your late husband's estate was a circus. It highlighted flaws in the legal system when dealing with high-profile cases, which, let's be honest here, should it be actually illegal to do like media news coverage on active cases? Side quest, but
I think it shouldn't be a thing for sure.
yeah.
I think that the mass media coverage of like trials and crimes and all this, it's like
Yeah, maybe after,
all
but
bad. It's all
yeah,
bad.
not during, because
It's
then
it's so entertaining though. Like
It's so
something like this
entertaining.
is just schlocky, like
Yeah.
just slop.
we love it. We
slop. For
we
the
love some good
piggies.
legal slop, dude.
Give me that slop. Give me that pop culture slop. Oink oink.
I want that pop
I'm a
slop.
pop culture piggy.
Give it to me. But guys, we have update number 5.
Riley's so disappointed.
Riley,
So
Riley,
dumb, dude.
Riley, give us a little oink.
give me an oinky.
Bark.
Be a little piggy.
Give me a
That's a
little oink.
bark. That's not what pigs say.
Give me an
My
oink.
dog Roof.
Okay, we're gonna ignore Riley, and we're gonna read update number 5. Heartbreak after 20 years.
Oh no! Did he break up with you again? Did he rise? Did he become a ghost? He broke your heart again.
Hey everyone, it's been a couple of years since my last update.
Ectoplasm baby.
I wasn't sure if I'd ever write again, but I figured I owed it to those of you who had been following my story. Unfortunately, this isn't the update I had been hoping for. Back in 2006, Pierce, remember Howard's son and my main opponent in this endless legal nightmare, passed away. You think his death would have brought some closure or at the very least an end to the lawsuits, but no. His estate picked up right where he left off and the fight dragged on for another 5 years, which if you think about it is kind of crazy because imagine you die and then a organization on your behalf continues. Miss Protein says he ghosted her. He did.
Nice. Hey, nice one. That's a good one.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. It's literally true. But
No way she made the funniest joke of the whole stream and she wasn't even on it, dude. That's crazy.
dude, gotta love
That's
it.
crazy.
But like in all actuality, imagine someone suing you. They literally just die, and then you have a whole like organization built up that just continues. Isn't that kind of crazy?
That's the American dream.
You can sue people even after you're
The
6 feet
American dream
under.
is being to sue people after you die.
Dude, that's apparently true.
Yeah.
Well, every new year brought new complications, new appeals, and of course, new headlines. The media never stopped spinning it into a scandal, turning me into a caricature of a gold digger while completely ignoring the truth of my relationship with Howard, and it was exhausting. And here I am now, in 2011, nearly 2 decades after this began, after countless court hearings, endless legal battles, sleepless nights, and the court has ruled against me for good. I've lost. The ruling officially stripped me of
Strips.
The ruling officially stripped me of any claim to Howard's estate. All the promises he made to me, the assurances he gave me of taking care of me have been deemed meaningless in the eyes of the law. I can't even begin to describe how this feels. It wasn't just about the money. It never was. Howard wasn't just my husband, but he was my partner, my rock, and the only person who truly believed in me when no one else did. I trusted him with my future, and to have trust... What is it, Riley? What is it? Please share with the class.
Trusted him with my future, but not his.
What?
She trusted him with her future, but she couldn't trust him with his.
Because he died.
Yeah.
What more can you do?
I don't know.
He's old.
Angie's joke was better. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll give it.
I'm gonna
I'll
say
give it.
elephant in the room. Angie's joke was better.
Okay, cool. I'm just trying. I'm
I
trying.
know. We're all trying. I'm trying.
I'm just
her
like-
joke was better than literally anything any of us have
best
Okay,
said
but
for 7
comparison's
hours.
a thief of joy. So why
It's
are you thieving my joy here, man?
Oh yeah, you're right. You hit me with my own quote.
Wait, I made that quote first.
You made that quote first?
Yep, I put it on the stream first.
Hi, I'm gonna hit you with another quote. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Liar, liar, a fuego,
Also,
pantalontes,
I made
el
that
fuego.
quote. I made that.
Riley Michael Scott. He made that quote.
Riley Michael Scott,
Yeah, that's his quote.
Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky.
Anyways, sorry. It was funny.
We're getting back to it. So I trusted with my future, and to have that trust invalidated by the courts feels like a betrayal I can't put into words. But what hurts me more is what this ruling seems to imply, that my relationship with Howard wasn't real. It feels like the court has erased our love, like it was never legitimate in the first place, and it's devastating. The emotional toll of this fight has been staggering. I've spent nearly 20 years reliving the loss of Howard over and over again in courtrooms and in the tabloids. The financial toll has been just as crushing, crushing. The legal bills have been astronomical, and every dollar I earned over the years felt like it went straight towards paying lawyers. Because remember, she hasn't received this fortune. She's literally she's going against Pierce's billionaire lawyers. So she's like, we don't even know how she's making money right now.
Oh, we know.
Books or something.
Books.
Yeah.
Shut up, Riley.
Definitely books.
Yeah, wow. She's definitely got her nose in the books, dude. Yep.
She's taking all of that money and just putting it towards I would have to guess hundreds of thousands of dollars per year in this battle. I'm totally guessing. I actually have no idea. I have no idea, but I'm just guessing. I mean, lawyers are expensive.
I have no idea. I've never.
They can be like $1,000, $2,000 an hour.
But yeah, definitely lots of money.
$1,000 and $2,000 an hour. You're going to Supreme Court. That's definitely hundreds of thousands. It's got to be.
There's not the lawyers that we don't get paid unless we win.
No,
they're definitely not those lawyers.
Those guys are not helping here. Actually, maybe. Who knows? But I've been fighting so hard for so long, and now it feels like I've lost almost everything. I don't know if I'll pose again. Right now, I'm just trying to keep it together for my daughter. Thought it was a son, my bad. She's the reason I keep going, even when it feels impossible. I want her to know that I fought for what I believed in, even when the odds were stacked against me. Thank you to everyone who supported me through this. Your kindness has meant more than you could ever know. For now, I'm just focusing on getting through this and being there for my kid. We have our final update.
Wow.
The end of the saga.
She's like, I died. The end.
No, Dakota. That is not the final update.
Then they
That's what it
rejoin.
says.
It's titled
Peace after the
Finding Peace After the Chaos,
And
okay?
then they rejoin an oil industry.
Peace
heaven.
in your personness.
Yes.
Your
Okay,
alive
yes,
personness.
Yes, you're alive. Yes.
Okay? Let me ask you this. If you are OP,
If I'm Anna Nicole Smith.
if you're Anna, and
You got big yonkers. and
you know, Riley, that's an irrelevant detail.
I'm just saying, you know how cool it would be if that was true as well?
Anna Nicole Smith. Hold on. Wait. Anna Nicole Smith.
You have to, and you go through 20, no.
I'm Anna Nicole Smith. Continue.
Final update.
Oh, wait, no. Say
Finding
it.
peace after the chaos.
Come on.
You had it.
Finding
He's ready.
peace
Are you
after the
intimidated?
chaos.
Are you intimidated? Are
Are
you
you
jealous?
intimidated?
I'm finding peace after the chaos.
No. What was your question? Say it.
Imagine spending 20 years fighting legal battles like that. Kind of a horrible life to live in a way. In many ways.
Like this.
So, hey everyone, if you put the camera back on Dakota, bad things will happen. I've been thinking about whether or not to write this for a while, and I finally decided it's time. This will be my last update. After everything that's happened, I'm ready to focus on moving forward and living my life. I wanted to share where I am now and reflect on the journey that's brought me here. When the legal battles finally ended, I was left with nothing but memories of my time with Howard. The financial strain was overwhelming, but honestly, the emotional toll cut deeper. Nearly 20 years of my life consumed by that fight, trying to prove that our love was real, that Howard's promises to me mattered, and that I wasn't just the gold digger the tabloids made me out to be. And in the end, you're not allowed to click on any more comments. I'm just shutting down everything. In the end, I lost. OP lost, guys.
No way.
Lost.
Oh.
Dang it.
Well, you tried your best, and honestly, that's what counts, you know? You tried your best. Throw an R in there.
The courts ruled against me, and the media turned me into a punchline, and the world moved on. But I couldn't, not completely. How could I? Howard wasn't just my husband. He was my rock, safe place, and biggest supporter. Losing him was hard enough, but losing the battle to preserve what he fought, what he wanted for me, was like losing him all over again. These days, my focus is on my daughter, Daniel Lynn. She's the light of my life and the reason I keep going. Every time I look at her, I'm reminded that no court ruling, no scandal, and no public judgment can ever take away what really matters: family and love. I want her to grow up knowing her worth, to believe in herself the way Howard believed in me. Most importantly, I want her to see that her mom fought for what she believed in, even when the odds were stacked against her, even when the world didn't understand. Raising Daniel Lynn had been my top priority since the day she was born. In many ways, she's my second chance. She was just a baby when Howard passed and when the legal battles began, so she grew up in the shadow of everything that happened. I've always tried to shield her from the worst of it. I don't want her to inherit my pain or the judgment that followed. I want her to carve her own path, free from the baggage of the past. She's 16 now. She's growing into the most incredible young woman. She's smart, kind, and full of life. She's passionate about fashion, music, and even acting. Sometimes I even see a little glimpse of Howard in her, the determination in her eyes, and the way that she's kind to everyone she meets. It's bittersweet because I wish Howard could see her now. I wish he could be here to watch her grow up. He would be so proud of her. We've kept a low profile in recent years, and that's been a conscious choice on my part. I want Daniel Lynn to have as normal a life as possible, or as normal as it can be when your mom's name has been splashed across tabloids for decades. We live in Kentucky now, far away from the chaos of Hollywood. It's been quiet here, and that's exactly what we need. She's in school making friends and enjoying the kind of childhood I always wanted for her, a childhood free from the public eye. As for Howard's family, I honestly don't know much about what they're doing now, and I don't care to know. Pierce's death in 2006 brought some closure to the legal battles, but it didn't erase the bitterness that his estate carried on after him. For years, it feels like his family's sole mission was to erase me from Howard's life. To deny that our marriage had any legitimacy, it was cruel, and it's not something I can easily forgive. That being said, I don't hold on to hatred. Life is too short for that, and I have more important things to focus on. I think about Howard's family less and less these days. When I do, it's mostly with a sense of pity. They had every opportunity to honor Howard's memory and to respect his wishes and to acknowledge the life we had together. Instead, they chose to fight me at every turn and make my life harder than it needed to be. I can't change what they did, but I can choose to not let it define me.
You go, girl.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
You go, girl. And we're definitely not talking about you in the context of just this story now that you're being remembered for.
Remembered.
Right? She's
What?
like, I'm not going to let this be the thing that defines my life. Meanwhile, we're reading it because it's the thing that defined your life. Sorry, girl.
Oh, yeah.
We still support you.
It's pretty ironic.
But that's what happened.
But, yeah, I mean,
She's like,
if that
I'm
happens,
gonna
you
rise
don't have a
above
choice.
this.
You
Nope,
don't have
sorry.
a choice. Rebuilding my life after the legal battles has been a challenge, to say the least. Losing the court case didn't just strip me of any claim to Howard's estate. It left me with staggering legal debts and very little to fall back on. The financial toll was immense. I had to start over from scratch, but starting over isn't new to me. I've been doing it all my life. From being a struggling single mom to building a modeling career, if there's one thing I know how to do, it's survive. In the years since the battles have ended, I focused on creating a stable life for Daniel Lynn and me, and I've taken on smaller projects here and there, modeling gigs, guest appearances, but for the most part, I've stepped away from the spotlight. Fame is a double-edged sword, and after everything I've been through, I'd rather live a quieter life. I would trade red carpets for parent-teacher association meetings and soccer games, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. One thing that still weighs on me is how the world remembers Howard. To me, he was so much more than a billionaire oil tycoon the media loved to talk about. He was kind, funny, and full of wisdom. He had this incredible way of making you feel like the most important person in the room. He believed in me when no one else did. Howard changed my life, not just by supporting me financially, but by showing me I was worth something. That's the legacy I hold on to. The Howard I knew, not the Howard that tabloids wrote about. It breaks my heart that his family fought so hard to erase our relationship, to deny what we meant to each other, but no matter what they say, they can't change the truth. Howard and I shared something real, and I'll carry that with me for the rest of my life. His love gave me the strength to keep going, even when the world turned against me, and that's a gift no one can take away. God damn it, Riley. Today, I'm focused on living in that moment. The legal battles are behind me, and while the pain of those years haven't entirely faded, I have found peace in the life that I've built with Daniel Lynn. We have a home, a routine, a sense of stability that I didn't think was possible during all the chaos. I've also found joy in the little things. Cooking dinner, watching movies with Daniel Lynn, spending time with close friends. Life may not look the way I imagined it would when I first married Howard, but it's good in its own way. I've learned to appreciate what I have instead of dwelling on what I've lost. And that's not to say that it's always easy. There are still days where the memories come rushing back when I think about Howard and what could have been.
Oh.
But these days are fewer and farther in between. Time has a way of softening even the sharpest edges of pain, and for that, I'm grateful. This journey has been a long, painful, and exhausting one, but it's taught me so much about love, resilience, and what it means to fight for what you believe in. Quick time check, Riley. I'm proud of the woman I have become, even if the world doesn't see me the way I see myself. Thank you to everyone who followed my story, offered kind words, or simply believed in me when it felt like no one else did. Your support meant to me more than you'll ever know. I don't know what the future holds, but I know I'll face it with the same strength and determination that's carried me through the past 2 decades. By the way, if you want us to carry you into the next 2 decades, tap our profile, join the live streams like we are right now, and join the family.
Yeah.
And have a good time.
Just tap it.
Speaking of joining the family, I don't know why I just said that, but
Speaking of joining the family, I'm going to go marry her dead husband.
who?
Going to the cemetery. I'm getting married.
So,
yeah.
I actually have a legitimately real question for
Okay.
both of you.
Yes, yes.
You are Anna. This is right after he passes. You don't have the inheritance. You have like some of the assets and stuff that he's given you throughout the time of the relationship. Trying to forget all of
Come on, Riley. He's asking
Come
a serious
on,
question.
Riley.
You put that funny
I
stuff.
had a serious question. Would you, this is like more of a tactical question than anything, would you pursue the legal battle? Riley, you're not allowed to click any more comments
What
right
do you
now.
mean? Of course I'm pursuing the legal battle. Of course I am.
You're not afraid of the other lawyers, though?
And
how it looks? The
you
optics
know,
are terrible.
the thing
Atrocious.
is no, I'm not scared because the upside is too high. And it's like I was married to him. I don't know. Of course I'm fighting the battle. I'm not fighting it for like sole control of like the entire like family fortune, but I'm fighting it until I get paid. If I had a legitimate relationship with this guy and he was like, I want to make sure after I die, because I'm not a fool. I know I'm 91 and I'm not going to live forever. When I die, I want you to be taken care of. I want you to be able to live without any worries or care in the world. And if he meant that, I would want it to be made good on.
Yes. She said they had people to corroborate that.
But
and
like
I guess
they didn't want to
in court.
get dragged into the tabloid.
Right.
nightmare.
Yeah.
So that was kind of they weaponized the media to prevent anyone else that would have wanted to come forward and help her from doing so.
And probably there's already such a great legal case against Anna, but like they could just be like, why didn't he put it in writing then?
Yeah, true.
Right?
Like, why didn't he say
like
that?
he's not an idiot. Like he's built $1 billion oil empire.
Right.
Like why didn't he just put it in the will if it was a
he
verbal
might have.
promise?
And I think they were arguing that he wasn't in his right mind, which
Oh,
is
right.
a way that you can
Yes.
get that to be undone.
Yeah.
So also what I find interesting is I saw some comments that were saying that, I mean, clearly this isn't the real story.
This is a fictionalized retelling.
The ending of
story.
it is not the same because she died of she OD'd.
Well, this isn't up to that. This is
No,
before that
I think
point.
this is her. Well, she wasn't in her daughter's life when she was 16. I don't think. I think she died before that. Am I right, chat? Zuri from Missouri said something about it. Some other people were saying that this is not a real ending.
We will figure it out.
What?
We will figure it out.
All right, why are you looking at me like that, big pro?
But why don't we close out the story, ladies and gentlemen? So, for now, I'm signing off to focus on my family and the quiet, simple life we've built. Howard used to call me his lady love, and I think about that often. Even though he's gone, those words remind me of who I am and what I'm capable of. They remind me that I'm more than the headlines, the court rulings, or the mistakes I've made. I'm a survivor, and I'm proud of that. The world might never understand the love Howard and I shared, but that's okay. I don't need their approval, and I know the truth, and so did Howard. At the end of the day, that's enough. Goodbye, and thank you again for everything.
I think that's kind of beautiful, though.
There is something to be said there's this.
Well, she wasn't making Reddit posts like.
Yes,
You know that.
Yes, yes.
So it's kind of artsy. I mean, I thought we were all on top of that.
It's a fictionalized retelling of the story,
Yeah.
as will be shown in the description of the video.
Yeah.
But it chronicles the major beats of the story that she went through.
Yeah.
Yes, but
With a better ending. Is that
Just talk about it as if it was like, a Reddit story.
okay?
so.
Guys, I made a oopsie.
To close out, any final words? Again, I will say again, kind of an insane life to be, married to this guy for like, a few years. Then he dies. Then you spend basically your entire lifetime after that suing to try and get his estate and just being dragged through the mud for 20 years. In a way, a hard life to live.
Dude, the hustle never stops, though.
The hustle
Once
never
you start
stops.
that hustle, the hustle never stops.
We might get some commentary from one man who's been through a similar situation. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to have a quick closing word from our good friend who literally just arrived back, Mr. Samuel Donner.
Here he is.
Sam,
Get on
please
with
take
it.
the producer seat and
Tell us.
any closing thoughts.
I just miss you guys. It's been a sec. I have no context on this story except that obviously I've gone through this very deeply.
Yes.
But miss you guys, and I'll see you guys soon.
It's felt like 64 years, but also like no time at all.
Am I the a-hole for abandoning my ex-best friend during her pregnancy?
No.
And this comes from, hey, it's a wonderful full day. And they say, I, 25 female, have been with my best friend, Jessica, 24 female, for over 5 years. We met while we were both working at McDonald's when we were both 18. Oh, they're loving it. Started the same day and became best friends ever since. Just like a happy meal together. Even though our lives turned out quite differently, as I ended up finishing my degree and became an accountant.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm an accountant.
I'm numbers.
And Jess became a janitor at the university. I still loved her very much, and we maintained our original selves as when we were 18. So even though they come from two different places, there's one place we can all come together and have a good time.
And that's where
The Golden
No
Arches.
You look cute when you eat those fries.
All this until a year and a half ago, while she's working at the university. Also, it's McDonald's University, by the way.
Oh, right.
No, I'm kidding. She met this fella called Funnel, who's 69 years old 2 years ago, and started seeing him romantically. Jessica is 24, and this guy is 69.
Is it the age gap?
Oh, does he live up to his age?
Possibly. 69 is the year of
69.
maturity.
Yeah, right.
Maturity,
That's-
John.
Yeah.
At first, I wasn't a fan of the relationship as there's such an age difference. It's a massive age difference. But Jess moved in with him.
Ooh.
What, into like the graveyard? And I started to, I'm kidding, $69-year-old fans out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you call me 27 and old, then hold on. We got to keep it consistent.
But Jess moved in with him, and I started to accept their quote-unquote relationship and got to know this Funnel guy. Funnel has 2 daughters in their late 40s and a son in his early 30s.
Oh.
When your romantic partner is significantly younger than your own children.
Your youngest child.
Your youngest child.
Not only that, he has grandkids in their late teens and early 20s.
Oh, no.
His grandkids are as old as OP's friend.
Oh, God.
Overall, this guy makes me so uncomfortable as he is quite creepy, but hey, as long as Jess is happy, I am happy. About half a year ago, I recognized that Jess's body changed and asked if she had had her period. She answered no. So we went and got some pregnancy tests. And of course, it came back positive. All 3 of them.
Triplet?
Triplets? Triplets?
Oh. Ooh, I was like,
it's a 3
I was like,
pregnancy
all
test.
3 of them. I was like, 3, okay, 3 tests. Dude,
That
she's
was
gonna have a bunch of
beautiful.
funnel babies? That's crazy.
That was beautiful. That
Oh my
realization in real time. She stated that she hasn't had her period for over 2 months. Is that not like do you not like,
So, no, there are definitely scenarios where, like,
if you have an irregular period, I understand that. But if you have a regular period and you don't have your period for 2 months,
I'm not saying that it's not usually
I would be
like
worried.
a reason to look into it, but there are definitely multiple
Yeah.
scenarios that, like, getting off of birth control or other things.
Yeah.
it
I
doesn't
know a
sound like
chick-
she was on birth control though.
I used to know a chick that like never had periods.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not saying if you obviously if you've never had periods, it's not a weird thing to not have a period. But if you've had periods consistently,
I think it's possible to have like an irregularity where it like, but it not that it's abnormal. Ladies,
What-
yes, Sophia missing.
what I'm surprised by is OP what understood that her friend was pregnant before she did.
What the
Well, conspiracy theory, did she not want to?
Well, not
Face the
want to
truth.
face the truth. Potentially.
Does she
but
want a funnel baby?
sounds
We
like
don't know.
she's in love with Mr. Funnel. Anyway, she stated that she hasn't had her period for over 2 months. When we found out, I offered anything I could possibly think of, driving her as she does not have a car or license, offered her financial assistance as I make significantly more than she does, and shelter as I own my own house and have spare rooms, as she never paid rent in her life. She lived with her mother before she moved in with old Funnel fella. I basically told her whatever she needs, I will be there, which great friend.
Yes.
Honestly, W friend knows when her friend is pregnant, offers food, shelter, and anything that she needs. Like,
True.
I feel like this friend knows how to take care of. I feel like OP knows how to take care of her friend and knows her friend better than her friend knows herself.
However, I would pose this question that we could maybe do it in the breakdown. I'm very curious to hear what you say in the comments. What about her confronting her friend about being with Funnel? Could this have could this have potentially, this is probably an unplanned pregnancy. Like, could this have prevented this from happening? And
Yeah.
maybe something, you know.
Well, it sounds like her and Funnel are happy together.
You sure about that?
yes.
Would you? All right,
That's
question.
why I was asking the question. Yeah.
This is such a massive age gap. As a friend of OP's friend, would you try to break up the relationship?
I think it's the age gap plus, like she said, there was
That
a
is
few other
creepy.
signs that she's like, I don't know if I quite fully trust this Funnel fella.
Yeah.
Do you kind of confront your friends with those concerns?
Yeah. Would you confront your friend if they were dating a 69-year-old? If they were dating someone 45-year-old. Riley's looking at pictures of hot 69-year-old women.
I'm just seeing if I would do it.
Wait, who's that one? I'm 69, but love flashing flesh.
Love flashing the flesh in hot pants.
Who is this?
I
Okay.
don't know what that means.
Like she likes wearing short skirts.
Oh, she's entering Miss Universe.
Dang.
Good for her.
I mean, she looks good.
She looks, yeah, super young.
For 69? Sheesh.
Super young.
Anyway, I basically told her that whatever she needs, I will be there. But first thing we need to do is go see an OB/GYN. She said yes, and I drove her home. 2 days later, I asked if she wants to book an appointment and when should I take some time off to work to take her to these appointments. She basically told me she had her period and she doesn't think she is pregnant.
Denial.
Yeah.
Well, she had her period. Maybe there's something wrong with the pregnancy.
Yeah, it's a little fishy.
Regardless, you should still see the OB/GYN.
Yes. Yeah.
It is coming from like a 69-year-old man. I mean, like, aren't you afraid to have kids at your age? Like, are you afraid like something will happen to them? They'll turn out all right.
I'm pretty sure you can shoot bullets up until you're like 90.
Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah,
Wait.
it's as long as it fertilizes, there's not as that doesn't like the man's contribution really doesn't have much
To do with
effects on
age.
complications of pregnancy.
Okay, this baby looks normal.
Yeah, we're looking at Robert De Niro's baby right now.
Yeah.
Who is how old?
The baby?
No, Robert De Niro.
Oh, 80.
80, and how old is his wife or lover?
Wife and or lover.
45.
That's like the same age gap, kind of.
You're right.
But it feels way more okay with a 45-year-old.
Yeah, I think like once you're like deeper into your adult life, it is like because like with a young person, there's just like with a
It's
younger
percent
person,
age difference.
it's percent age difference, but because like when you're young, you're just more like gullible and like you're still figuring out the world, and someone can kind of like manipulate or do that kind of thing a little more easily. There's more potential for
Yeah, I really want to know from you guys, like, what do you think this is okay?
Please let us know.
I stated, okay, we will still need to go to the doctor and get you checked out because it could be a miscarriage. She then basically ghosted me. I tried reaching out multiple times and got zero answers or replies. Her mother even reached out to me to see if I have been in contact with her, as she had not been in contact with her for a while, which is super unusual for her as we are constantly in contact. I was super worried about her well-being, as the old fella might be controlling and telling her that she can't share her pregnancy with anyone, as we live in a small town. After 3 weeks of trying to contact her, I gave up and told her that if she doesn't want my help or want me in her life anymore, I will be happy to cut contact with her. No reply, so I blocked her number and her social media.
Is that too far, though?
I think it's too far.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because this friend is 24, being, in a way, manipulated by an older man. She's not contacting you. I still feel like you need to keep that door open in case something happens.
I think you can stop, like, she's like, I get not wanting to pour energy into it while she's just like ignoring you. But yeah, that doesn't mean you need to like go and be like, I'm blocking you, and say it like that.
Yeah, I don't think that makes sense. Because what if she got like, I don't know, what if she's been abducted or something, and then when she escapes, she can text OP.
Yeah. You never know.
That's a crazy situation. I don't think that's what happened.
But yeah, you never know.
You don't know the circumstances.
Exactly.
Now, half a year, I found out she is very pregnant, still living with the old fella that probably gonna die sooner than later due to him being an alcoholic and having a history of cancer, leaving her with nothing as he does not own anything and lives paycheck to paycheck. Am I the a-hole to just leave her knowing that her and the baby will struggle. And there are some comments and an update 4 months later. So, do we think OP is the a-hole basically for leaving the situation and specifically maybe dropping the friend completely by blocking the number and such?
Yeah, I think so. Like breaking it down a little bit on the point of like not helping the friend anymore, I would say no, because there's only so much you could like. She was trying to get in contact with her. If someone doesn't want to respond or accept your help or whatever, there does reach a limit of like, okay, I can only like reach out to someone's, so many times. And then another part, I would say she was the a-hole on like how she blocked her friend.
Yeah.
But does a-hole plus not a-hole, what does that equal? I think I'll say overall not the a-hole, because I think that her behavior and attitude was like very, very helpful. Like the fact that she was willing to like help house her and like feed her and stuff.
I think the only decision that she made that could possibly be construed as a-holery is not the pulling back of friendship, which I think is understandable here. I think it is the complete blocking.
Yeah.
Like, I think that decision is a little a-holy because, like, again, we don't know the circumstances. What if she needs help at some point? But everything else I think is fine.
And the way, low-key, you can like block someone and like not say anything. The fact that she also sent a message saying that.
Yeah.
Like, what if she's like just like confused and lost and then sees this message from her friend and like she wants to reach out, but she's like, for whatever reason, not maybe being manipulated not to.
I would send the reverse of that message where I would be like, hey, I know you're going through a lot right now. It seems like we don't want to talk. I'll stop reaching out.
Yeah.
But if you ever need anything, just let me know.
Yeah. Then
that would be the angel way to do it.
Yeah. I think so.
But overall, I would love to know what you guys think in the comments. But overall, not the a-hole.
I would say so.
Yeah. So, comments. Scorvia says, not the a-hole. She has what she looked for. She also stopped talking to you. She abandoned you and preferred to stay with an old man twice her age. She stopped talking to you. Why should you be the one to come back? OP responds, I guess I just want to get through to her what she's signing up for if she does not have any support. She hates her mother and has no other friends, like basically isolated.
Yeah.
And then Reddit reader AITA fan says, old man almost 3 times her age with grandchildren her age, not the a-hole. And there is an update 4 months later.
I'm predicting a baby. This update.
I think your prediction will be correct. So Jess, 24, had the baby. And after 10 months of no contact, she finally reached out. How so? Because I thought you blocked her everywhere.
True.
We went for coffee, and she updated me what had happened in those 10 months and admitted she cut me off on purpose. She is jealous of my accomplishments. The 70-year-old baby daddy is now 71, and he asked to not be on the birth certificate, and he's not. He hid the baby from his family, 3 adult kids in their 40s. He was not there during the delivery and didn't even bother going to the hospital. Who would have thought the creepy old funnel man would have skipped town?
Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it? She got kicked out of his apartment and now is living with her abusive mother, where she desperately wants to move out. The reason why she reached out is due to the fact that she ran out of money due to a shopping addiction and she now needs support. She asked if she could stay at one of my rental properties for free or if she could borrow some money from me, which I don't know if definitely say no to the borrowing money.
Yeah.
For sure. Because like that money is just going to be scooped up by that shopping addiction. How about rental properties for free?
That's also a little
very tricky.
Yeah, it really depends on like if it was like your
livelihood
sister or something that was like not in that type of scenario, that's very different than like a friend who just came back has a shopping addiction. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not.
And also like the friend just cut her off, you know?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
It's like someone that you now barely know coming to you and being like, shower me with gifts.
Yeah.
And has a person who has just broken your trust.
It's a huge ask.
It's a huge ask. And it's like, you know, before you make a huge ask like that, maybe build up the trust again.
Or just go straight for the jugular and try and get everything you can.
Yeah, that's true. Seems
High
like.
risk, high reward.
Yeah, baby.
So it was a pretty easy decision for me, as I told her straight up that I am not an ATM machine, and if she would have kept me as a friend 10 months ago, I would have considered to help her. However, I am still willing to be friends and work on our friendship. I think that is the perfect response, honestly.
That is the perfect.
She was pretty upset about it and said that since I am so well off, I should help her. I told her no again and said we would revisit the conversation again if we maintain a friendship.
Yeah.
Agreed. Build up the trust again, and then you can get the benefits, you know?
But yeah,
Can't be no friends with benefits.
I'm already really not liking the responses though. Like the responses to me are like, I'm entitled to it, and that also lends me to believe that she will not be motivated to like pay back or, you know, eventually pay for an apartment or whatever.
Oh yeah. I mean, like if she has a shopping addiction, there's no way. There's no way. Well, since that conversation, I invited her to have lunch and coffee a few times and stopped paying for things and driving her around like I did before. She pretty much stopped communicating with me immediately. So not interested in friendship, only interested in the money.
Yep.
I guess my question is, am I the a-hole to put her out on the streets? And we do have a bunch of relevant comments where OP is responding, but John, Riley, all of you lovely people in the comments, I want to know, do you think OP is the a-hole now? So basically is OP the a-hole now for basically saying, hey, I'm not going to provide you free money out of the blue when you come back to me?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like the question was like, am I the a-hole for like putting her out in the streets? As terrible as it sounds on the surface, she put herself on the streets.
Yeah.
Which, because of the decisions of like, okay, like, you know, getting together with this guy, of like all of these things. Yeah, I mean, there's again, there reaches a point where it's like, if I help you, it will probably only enable.
Yeah. And it's like help in big quotes, right? Because me helping you actually won't really help.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not gonna like it doesn't feel like OP's friend is in the position to take help and make it sustainable. Right?
Yeah.
You know, if you give someone $500 with a shopping addiction support, they're just gonna use it to fund their shopping addiction.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily gonna use it to actually like rebuild their life. And how do you know someone's gonna rebuild their life? Trust.
Yeah, I think in that conversation, the fact that she ghosted her, that tells me like pretty much all you need to know about. It would be worth it.
But what do you guys think? Put your answers in the comments. Is OP the a-hole for this? I would love to know your reasons why or why not. But we do have some relevant comments. Dehefe01 says, not the a-hole. It's called child support for a reason. She needs to get it. OP responds, can she get child support if he's not on the birth certificate?
Good question.
Yeah, you can sue for you can paternity test stuff, right?
True. Yeah.
Dehefe01, the court can compel a DNA test, especially if it's evident they have been in a relationship. Good point.
Yep, there you go.
Carolina Mama 2015 says, not the a-hole. She has made her choices. Just because she let the baby's father off the hook for truly no good reason, it's not anyone else's job to step up and support her child. She has options. She could have put him on the birth certificate. She could file for child support through the courts. And OP responds, I feel bad for the baby, as he would be high risk for health problems in the future due to the father's old age. Wait, is that true?
Yeah,
is a
maybe we
baby
should look it up.
Can we look at that up? Is a father's old age, does that contribute to health problems?
Yeah, I always assumed that it was just like as long as the fertility is there, but yeah, maybe something more.
Take notes, John.
So genetic mutations as men age, a number of new genetic mutations in their sperm increases. There's increased autism, schizophrenia, birth defects, pregnancy complications, bipolar disorder, and intellectual disabilities.
I did not know that. That is good to know.
At what age does it become relevant?
40.
So it increases around 40. So basically have kids. There's a noticeable rise starting 35 to 40 years old.
Oh, wow. So like guys do have a genetic clock too.
Yeah.
There you go. Wow.
Let's go.
I didn't know that it was that early.
Neither did I.
Wow.
I had no idea. I didn't even know that there was like a much of a risk with getting older. Yeah. Wow.
John.
Yup.
And I will be 6 months later.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, thank you.
Chaotic Good 790 says, imagine effing an old dude and not securing money. Your friend is a few crayons short and all that. She can get a job like everyone else. OP responds, she had a job as a janitor, but now on employment insurance due to maternity leave. GuiltyWeb7334 says, oh, I take it you're Canada. At his age, he'd be receiving Canadian pension. Are there survivorship benefits with Canadian pension plan like there are with U.S. Social Security? As an aside, though, if she's low income with no father on record, her child tax benefit will be a minimum of $600 to $700 a month. So she should be somewhat okay between LCTB and the baby bonus. Not rolling in it, but if her mother isn't making her pay rent/utilities, she should be okay. She just has to not be an idiot. OP responds, yes, I'm in Canada. He has pension, old age pension, Canadian pension plan, and income from working. She has child benefits. Which is $660 a month. EI, which is $800 a month, something bi-weekly or weekly. But she has a shopping addiction. Each time we go out, she spends $200 on random stuff like new clothes and jewelries. No child support from baby daddy so far. And then a couple more comments. Mountain Moose 307 says, not the a-hole. I can't recall a post on Reddit where one person could make so many stupid choices. OP responds, I think she made these decisions due to no life experience. She's 24, turning 25 now, but never paid rent or had a driver's license.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty Little Mind says she's a fool if she doesn't file for child support and establish paternity through the courts. If the man dies while her child is a minor, I would think the child will receive Social Security benefits. That being said, she does not sound trustworthy or prudent with money. OP responds, she said the guy promised to leave some money in as well. Nothing is written down, obviously. And then Pretty Little Mind says, my first comment stands. And what money? He loves paycheck to paycheck. OP responds, I'm just waiting to see when she would realize that he's not paying because he sounds like a deadbeat dong.
Dude. An old deadbeat dong.
An old deadbeat dong. Yeah, but those are the interesting comments about like Social Security and I guess some like government benefits programs that OP's friend could apply for.
She should mine as well. Like again, like a commenter said, giving her not that she would use the money wisely, but might as well just go for all the avenues that you can.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, at least like the ones that maybe will support rent. And also a lot of these government benefit programs, they're pretty strict with what you can use the money for.
Yeah, and go for child support too for all the reasons they mentioned.
Yeah, get every advantage that you can.
Yeah, 100%.
But again, it sounds like OP's friend isn't the sharpest crayon in the tool shed. And so I feel like maybe she doesn't know how to take advantage of these programs.
Yeah. It sounds even more. It's like, let me just go to my friend and see if I can ask her for money.
She went the easiest way.
Yeah. Which, come on.
Not good.
Gotta do something.
Not good. But yeah, I would be curious. What are your thoughts on the age gap? What are your thoughts on the friend going to OP and being like, hey, give me money for free? What do you think about like the trust friends should have before there's any kind of financial compensation / help that someone gives? I would love to know all your answers in the comments below. And especially if you have any stories based around that, you should submit them to r/OKOP show. But before we get into this next story, have you freaking subscribed?
Have you?
Because you should.
You really should.
Subscribe.
You don't want anything bad to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be a shame. It would be a shame if something bad were to happen, like you don't get a notification for this next story we're about to read.
I'm just saying you don't want a subscribe button when you pull your sheets off, okay?
I'm engaged, but my best friend just told me he loves me. What should I do? This is OKOP, home of the craziest true stories on earth. I'm Sophia. And Riley, what do you do when your best friend rushes in and yells, I object at your wedding?
You got to pick, got to be on the spot. Who gives you the most laughter?
Mm-hmm.
Who makes you feel safe?
Mm-hmm.
If the best friend's not cutting it, that's an awkward conversation.
We just watched The Notebook, and I feel like that's this.
Yo, that's a good point.
I mean, I guess they weren't best friends.
This is giving me maid of honor type vibe.
Oh, interesting conspiracy. Well, let's find out what's going on. So Honeybee123321 says, I know that this sub has a huge issue with large age gaps, so I would like to point out that the age gap between my fiance and I is not the center of this post, and I would appreciate it if you kept your opinions about that to yourselves.
What? I'm interested in what this age gap is.
Well, we're about to find out, but you've got to keep your opinions to yourselves.
Okay, I won't say anything about the age gap.
We won't say anything. As some backstory, I met my best friend Trevor, 39 male, and my fiance Burke, 44 male, almost 5 years ago when I was 22. Now 27 female, and they were 40 and 34.
Okay, we can do math though.
Well, we know.
We're just doing math. We're not
OP
making any
just,
assumptions.
We're just repeating. OP was 22 when they met their fiance who was 40 and their best friend who was 34. They are now 27.
That's 18 years and 12 years.
Anyway, they both work together, and for privacy purposes, I'm keeping their occupation a secret. But I met Burke first, and we became good friends, and then I met Trevor next. I was immediately infatuated with Trevor. Him and I spoke quite a bit. We went out on a few dates, and I thought he felt the same way about me. But one day, he dropped a bomb on me, where he basically told me he never felt anything for me other than friendship and doesn't want to lead me on anymore. I played it cool and pretended that I too only wanted friendship, and he laughed and said, "Great, glad we're on the same page."
Okay.
So he friend-zoned her, and now maybe is coming back.
I have my thoughts on this.
Okay, we'll get back to it. Save those thoughts. I was bitter and spiteful at first, but eventually I got over it, and Trevor and I became best friends. And instead of avoiding him and cutting him out, my pride got in the way, and I didn't want to appear butthurt, so I carried on like nothing happened. I have zero feelings for Trevor now. We're much better off being friends than lovers anyway. Before, I only ever saw Burke when he was at work. Him and I had a running joke where I owed him a date. He gave me a lift home one day because it was raining, and he said, "Now you owe me dinner." And after joking around about it for a few years, one day I said, "Heck with it, Burke. Let's go get dinner." Just imagining this 22-year-old being like, "The heck with it, Burke."
Go get dinner.
Also, I'm assuming that these are fake names, so I'm wondering why they chose Burke. Is that like a common name somewhere?
I don't know. It's probably your dog's name.
Burke?
Because she loves Burke.
I guess so.
I don't know where she got the name.
Where'd you get this name from? So we went out as friends and had a good time, and we kept hanging out afterwards, going out for coffee and dinner and to the beach. And then after a few months of hanging out, I developed feelings for him. And apparently he also had feelings for me. And one evening after a Game of Thrones marathon, we ended up having sex.
Wow.
Whoa. After a
course.
Game of Thrones marathon, that put you in the mood?
Dude, have you not seen Game
I
of Thrones?
have.
They throw down.
Yeah, but it's like half of it's incest.
But the other half.
And-
let's just assume they were watching the other half.
The other half is not that
I don't
much
know.
better.
I've never seen it. I just know.
Oh, it's super bloody. I only got through 5 seasons. And then I couldn't continue. Well, anyway, they got in the mood. Burke and I slept together for a few months, and we weren't sure if our feelings were because of the sex or if we really did like one another. So we stopped with the sex, and the feelings never left. So we just decided to start dating.
Aw.
That's nice.
It's kind of slow.
Yeah. And it's been pretty great ever since. We have had minimal problems, and the ones we had were easily resolved. Burke and I have been together for 1.5 years and engaged for almost a year. We're getting married in a month.
Wow.
Okay. That's exciting. Burke and Trevor have grown a bit closer since Burke and I got together. And Trevor is even going to be one of Burke's groomsmen in the wedding. I thought everything was perfect and we were all one big happy family.
I wish it would just stop right here.
Let's stop right here. We're done. The story's over. But Riley, what were those thoughts that you were talking about earlier?
Yes. If I'm implying, right, Trevor didn't really have romantic feelings for her in the beginning, but then he developed them over time. Recently, in high school, I was with someone I was like, ooh, should I date him? Should I not? And I wasn't really feeling it and I didn't. And then recently they came back in my life and I'm like, ooh, should I date him? Should I not? And I still have the same feelings.
Mhm.
So I think it's a gut reaction.
Yeah.
Even though people can change over time, I think just trust your gut. You don't need to force something.
Yeah.
We don't know what Trevor's feeling.
Yeah, I also think it's a little suspicious that maybe not suspicious, but he's buddies now with Burke. That's awkward.
But they work together. Aren't you pals with the people you work with?
No, I hate all the people.
She
I work
doesn't talk to me outside of the podcast.
No, this is all
actually
yeah.
true.
This is an on-screen friendship, and that's it. Yeah.
Just reads her book and watches TikToks.
Well, my book is very good. I'm reading Mistborn, if you've heard of it. It's amazing. Anywho, let's get back to the wedding. Now for my problem. Trevor and I went out for a walk last night, and before we parted ways, he told me he's in love with me. Oh my God. He told me that back then, when we first met, he didn't feel it at the time, but as I've gotten older and matured and whatever, he suddenly realized that he made a mistake and he thinks we are compatible and that I became the kind of woman he wants to date. But when he realized this, Burke and I announced our relationship to the world. Whoa. Too
Bad
little, too
timing,
late, Trevor.
buddy.
Yeah. I told Trevor that this was the worst timing. She agrees. I can't believe he did this to me. I'm getting married married in a month, and this is totally messed up. This is such like a man thing to like tell your, you know, best girlfriend that you have feelings for her and, you know, expecting her to reciprocate.
Dude, men and emotions.
Don't worry. Don't.
We're not friends.
Men and emotions.
We don't do this.
Yeah.
So
yikes.
like whenever we're able to like say something like that,
Mhm.
it's just, you just better be glad we said it. We weren't going to.
She's not glad. What did she say? She said it's totally messed up. He told me he's sorry, but he had to let his feelings be known now before I get married. He said he also hopes that some part of me still wants him. And then he told me to take some time to process this and let him know my decision later on in the week. That's so formal. She's going to send him like a little like written note.
With a little stamp on it.
You
Like,
know, he gave her one of those like prom things that says like date, yes, no. Just like check one off.
she makes a new box and says, "Get away from me."
My decision, I still love Burke. He's the man I'm going to marry. I feel like that was, pretty obvious. Trevor. All my feelings for Trevor left years ago as soon as I realized he was leading me on and never felt anything for me. Also, the leading, it seems like he did have some sort of feelings at the beginning because he was leading her on.
But men and emotions.
Man.
But okay,
work on those
I do have
guys.
something against Trevor.
What?
He's 34. His brain should be clicking by now.
Yeah. No.
I have friends that like after their brains developed, they said everything just started making sense. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I know
for
we're
that to
not
happen.
allowed to mention the age difference, but their brains should be fully
Functioning.
formed and functioning. And the fact that Trevor
Slacking.
it's weird. All my feelings for Trevor left years ago as soon as I realized he was leading me on and never felt anything for me. I don't know what I'm going to do. This is going to change everything. Trevor and I will no longer be friends. Our wedding is going to be one man short, and not to mention, Burke and Trevor still work together and they have to interact with one another quite a bit at work, and this is going to be such a mess. Part of me also feels like this is Trevor continuing to mess around with my head. He didn't want me back then, so I moved on, and now that I'm getting married, he wants what he can't have. I know I have no idea. That's so true. He's interested in the chase.
Dude, that's real though.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
You want what you can't have,
Well,
right?
I got like friend zoned recently, and I was like,
But
that
you were
would be
interested
nice.
in her before the friend zoning.
I know, but like, I still like, I even want it more now. I'm like, oh, what can I do to make her accept me?
Yeah, but I feel like that's because you were interested in before, whereas Trevor was like rejected and then he's coming back.
Okay.
So I feel like I think it's a little bit different scenario. I have to tell my soon-to-be husband, but I don't know when or how. Like when he comes home from work, do I just blurt it out? Do I do it over supper? Do I do it before bed? I know that this is going to cause a pretty big awkward mess, and I want to sort this out with as minimal casualties as possible. Burke worked late last night, so when he came home, I had already finished bawling my eyes out and I was fast asleep. And when he woke up this morning, I had already left for work. It's 12 p.m. where I live, and Burke will be home at 7 p.m. That gives me 7 hours to work this out in my head. She's gonna create a whole game plan. Yeah, that's tough.
Step by step.
It's not only tough because it's like just an awkward thing to be like, hey, this guy, that we've known forever just confessed his love to me. But also he's Burke's best, or what, not best man, but men. What are the rest of the men called? Men of honor. Groomsmen.
Oh, the best man?
Groomsmen. No. The other men.
Oh,
They're
the
groomsmen.
groomsmen.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. There we go. And so now he's going to find out that his groomsman.
Trying to get his lady.
Yikes.
Sounds like a duel.
Yeah. At dawn. No, sorry. At 7 p.m. I'm so
7:30.
7th. Yeah. You gotta
get home, break the news,
find out, and then
get mad, call them.
Yeah, and then
plan.
Traffic. Maybe 7:45. I'm so upset right now. I just lost my best friend. There's no way Trevor and I can continue hanging out anymore. And once I tell Burke, he's most likely not going to like me continuing to talk to Trevor, which is understandable. Sorry if this post is long and all over the place. I'm just so stressed out. Yowza. That's rough. Yeah.
I still want to talk about this age gap, but
yeah, we're not allowed to.
Kind of can't.
Everyone else in the comments, we have no control over you.
We don't. Yeah, please.
Our hands are tied.
How awkward it is. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. What do you think's gonna happen though?
I think Trevor is gonna make a big. I think the husband, when he gets home, Burke, or the fiance, he's gonna be like, "What?" And he's gonna go fight. He's gonna go. Yeah, I know. I was like, "Where is it?" Toss me, Mike. We should make them more aerodynamic. Okay. I think Burke is gonna come home and he's gonna be like, "Hello, sweetie," and OP's gonna be like, "Burke, I have something." Burke, like in How to Train Your Dragon. The place.
Oh, she found it.
I found it. She's gonna be like, "Burke, Trevor confessed his love to me," and Burke's gonna be like, "Yeah," and he's gonna go fight Trevor.
Nice. I think Burke's gonna win though.
Yeah,
because Burke's more experienced.
Yeah,
aka older.
Which that's all we'll say about that.
This would make way more sense if they were like one was 24
I know.
and one was 30.
This seems like such like a
Take 10 years away, please.
well, I was gonna say something about the age gap. If hypothetically, if you were an older person and you're interested in a younger person, maybe you're already a little bit more immature. But there are some relevant comments on the age gap. They're going to talk about it.
Oh boy.
It's because an older man dating a much younger girl is seen as either A, he has something wrong with him, B, she has daddy issues, or C, a combination of both, and the older guy wants to control the younger girl. It's foolish, really. I'm glad my relationship gives you hope, girl. I'm a bit of an old soul, and I had to mature faster than most girls. So while my friends were 18, 19 drinking and having fun with their boyfriends, I was living alone, working full-time to support myself while going to college. Guys my age just don't cut it for me anymore. The way I see it, if you're both happy and over the age of 19, age is just a number. Cutting off Trevor is best. OP continues, I already plan on cutting Trevor out. The whole situation just breaks my heart because I didn't see it coming at all. And now I just have to adjust to life without having my best friend around. And Burke now has to deal with working next to a guy who tried to steal his fiance.
Sad face emoji.
Sad face emoji. Emoticon. That's an emoticon, right? Like emoji is
OG sad face emoji.
You're right.
How's work life gonna be?
Yeah, no, that's really awkward.
Just like looking at the guy.
Hopefully
like,
they don't work like really close.
But I think they collaborate.
They must, because they seem like they're close friends. Close enough that, she was going to be, I feel like Trevor was probably going to be invited to the wedding regardless, but close enough that
Trevor's going to be one of the dudes.
Well, no, I mean, if he weren't friends with Burke.
That is true.
That he's close enough to both of them that, he's also one of the groomsmen.
Yeah, I think a duel will.
I think this is gonna be a little messy. Anyway, there is an update.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna find out if it's as messy as we predicted. I spoke to Burke that night.
Oh.
At 7 p.m. on the dot.
Oh.
He came home from work, and before he got too comfy, I told him we needed to talk, and then we sat down and spoke. I started by telling him about the start of mine and Trevor's relationship because he didn't know how our friendship began. Oh,
The lore. Just show the Reddit post.
Yeah. She's like, here you go. I used to have feelings for him, and then he turned me down. I then told him about how he confessed to being in love with me and how I have zero feelings for him. I love Burke and only Burke, and he's the man I'm going to marry. Burke didn't look too surprised. He said he had a feeling that something like this was going to happen because every time Trevor, Burke, and I are in the same general area, Trevor always has this look on his face and seems annoyed and agitated in general.
Interesting.
Yikes. He always assumed Trevor was salty about our relationship together. Apparently, it's common gossip around the workplace that Trevor wants a piece of Burke's woman. Okay. Is it a bit of a red flag that Burke didn't say anything?
It's like workplace.
No,
drama,
but that directly involves OP.
His woman. Yeah.
That's also just like a weird, if they're saying like he wants a piece of
Wants
Burke's
a piece of your
that's
woman.
so antiquated.
Yeah, no, this is.
Yeah.
I would
this all
say
feels very
so.
juvenile.
Yeah, it does sound. But it's workplace drama, so he's probably like, oh, it doesn't really mean anything. And if he did say something to him, then it would affect their like work performance, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he should have told OP though that like, hey, I think Trevor might be, like not like stop being friends with him, which is I think that's good that he didn't do.
Mm.
But like I feel like he should have been like, hey,
notice
this if like because it seems like OP wasn't noticing it at all, or maybe he thought that OP did notice and was just ignoring it.
Yeah. But think about the other thing. What if all this was happening and he did say something, but nothing was going on behind the scenes?
That's true.
How awkward would it have been?
That is true. Because a lot of times, partners can be in these stories can be like, stop being friends with your male best friend and overthinking. So maybe he was like, I'm overthinking it.
Yeah, the Reddit story would have been like, my fiance wants me to stop being friends with my male best friend. And then the update would have been like, he's actually in love with me, my male best friend.
Yeah, well, let's see what he does. So he already kind of knew. Burke also told me that he's kind of glad this happened in a way because part of him always worried that I had feelings for Trevor or was going to leave him for Trevor because Trevor is a bit closer to me, to my age than he is. Yeah, what was the 44 and 30? 34. Okay, so we got 10 in tens.
Or 38.
30. Oh.
She's 27 now.
Okay,
27,
so
Trevor's 38, and
He's 44.
Burke is 44.
That's not, they're closer in age, Burke and Trevor. I messaged Trevor and told him that there was no choice and that I love Burke and I'm getting married to him next month. Trevor left me on red and removed me from Facebook almost immediately afterwards.
Not Facebook.
Oh my God, what is she gonna do? I've seen him out in public a few times here and there, but we never spoke. He wouldn't even look at me. After about a week or two, he texted me and told me that he's sorry things had to come to this. He was almost 100% certain that I still had feelings for him and that this was going to have a different ending. He told me he's kicking himself in the butt for dicking me around in the past and missing out on his chance with me, and told me if I changed my mind, I know how to contact him. I never replied.
Still got hope.
Why? He was like, I'm so certain that she's 100. Like, what? If she had feelings for you, she would be with you, not Burke.
But he overanalyzed everything.
He was like, oh my God, she looked at me.
3 years ago, there was this one time where she touched my arm and felt something.
Yeah, I'm 100% certain that she felt something too. Enough that she's going to leave her fiance, who she's getting married to in a month, for me.
Yeah.
Also, just like the audacity to be like, if you ever change your mind, you know where to find me. I'll be waiting. That's weird.
That is weird.
Move on. I feel closer to my fiance more than ever, and we both decided to try for a baby. I've been thinking of asking Burke about starting a family for a while now, but I wanted to wait until after the wedding so I wasn't trying to squeeze my pregnant belly into a wedding dress. And apparently he was having the same thoughts as I was. I took my last BCP on Saturday, and we've both been really busy putting in some last minute wedding plans and trying to make a baby. Wait, hold on. What's BCP?
I was about to ask you that. That sounds like a lady term.
Oh, birth control pill. It is a lady term.
I knew it. I knew I was supposed to know that.
I just have never seen the BCP. They finish up. Thanks for your help, Reddit. A piece of me still feels hollow because I just lost my best friend of 5 years. And part of me wishes there was a different outcome where I could have both my man and my bestie in my life and things could go back to the way they used to be. But I know that's impossible. But I'll be okay in the end. I wish I could invite you all to the wedding, but sadly we're already full. Well, actually, you have one spot.
Yeah.
You have one spot open.
Invite one of us.
Yeah.
Come on.
There are some relevant comments. Before we get into those, let's
honestly
take it in.
She was like, yo, I'm not going to go for you.
Yeah.
I'm with my fiance. Yeah. I made up my mind.
That's honestly, that must be so satisfying to like
be Burke.
Be rejected. No, well, be Burke, but be rejected. And then like 5 years later, be like, you know what? I've come so far. I don't need you anymore. You don't deserve me.
It's pretty good for Burke too, I would say.
Yeah. Also, just like it's frustrating to know that Trevor was very aware that he was leading her on this whole time, and then or like in the past, and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna reject you."
At least some part of his brain was working.
Yeah. Yikes! But there are some relevant. Oh wait, what?
She was a rock in a chaos of storm because she wasn't like
she was being flung around. Oh no, because she wasn't being flung around. She was like a boulder.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a little pebble zooming around.
No, she was a big boulder.
She was a big boulder holding her
ground.
Exactly. There are some relevant comments. This one's from Sharks for Parks. I love that. I love that name. Know a guy who did this with every woman he met, but he didn't love them. Just the idea of being in love with them.
Yo.
So true. I think Trevor needs to go to therapy.
That's a good point.
Yeah. OP says, I'm kind of getting the I don't want you, but I don't want anyone else to have you vibes from Trevor, TBH. When I was still single/secretly dating Burke, he was just my good old buddy Trev. But as soon as we came open about our relationship, we kept it in the dark pretty much right until we moved in together because of the fear of backlash over our age differences. Trevor started to get weird. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, that's what he wants. He just, he can't deal with you being with anyone else.
What is that, territorial?
I don't know if it's territorial. It's just like you can, maybe. You can only, no, actually, I think it is territorial. I think that's exactly right. It's like you can only be with me. Oh, no, you can't be with me, but you can't be with anyone else either. OP once again on the age gap. I was 22 and still in college when I met Burke. I graduated since then, obviously, and I'm working full time now. But still, lol, I get where most people are coming from the whole age difference thing. But for me, age is just a number. As long as you love each other and have a connection and one of you isn't taking advantage of the other, then age doesn't matter. Hence the 17-year age gap between my soon-to-be husband and I. She's
an old soul, though.
She's an old soul. I was 25 and he was 42 when we started pursuing one another. I was the one who went after him, not the other way around. What is wrong with this sub? Lol, large age gaps don't equal that both parties involved have something wrong with them.
Wait, let me do some math real quick.
What math are you doing?
42 divided by 2 plus 7.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, the rule that I've heard is half your age plus 7.
I got 28. But wait. How old is he now?
He's 44.
Okay, 44.
And she's
I
27.
give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Divided by 2 plus 7. She's 27. Now she's 29. Give it 3 more years and she'll hit.
Yeah, wait 3 years. Met when we were 22 and 39. We didn't start doing anything until I was 25 and he was 42. And I instigated it because I liked him. He wasn't like, oh damn, a young woman to take advantage of and abuse. Let's hop on that. No, he was hesitant about being more than friends with benefits at first because of the age gap. And then we stayed in the dark for a while afterwards, but eventually he got tired of hiding it and said the hell with it, and literally no one in our life has a problem with it. My parents are 5 to 8 years older than Burke, and they welcomed him with open arms.
Okay, I honestly don't feel like this is a huge thing because she has realized she is very different than her peers, very more oldly mature. Honestly, I feel like I could date a 40-year-old woman and be okay because of my maturity. I'm on her side.
She's asked us not to comment, so I won't. But the only but I will comment on I will repeat that the parents are 5 to 8 years older than Burke.
Wait, question. What if, no, that's different. I once dated a chick where her dad was like 70 and my grandpa was like 65.
Oh, that's different.
Okay.
All right. That doesn't have, that's not in the relationship. So
that is true.
On if she wasted her 20s. I was never bored though. That's just how I chose to live. My friends used to give me a hard time about it, call me Grandma Dan or Old Lady Danielle, but it didn't bother me really. While they spent their weekends hungover, I spent them reading a book or rock climbing.
Oh.
I do that. I don't rock climb, but I read books. I chose to experiment and have fun in my 20s by doing things that were exciting. I mean, I guess I lied when I said I never drank. I've drank like twice. Whoa, how dare you lie about that? And I've been drunk once and I hated every minute of it. I chose to experiment and have fun by bungee jumping, flying a plane, hiking, exploring, road tripping, camping, cliff diving, things like that. I don't think I'm going to look back at my life and think I wasted any bit of it. I think I had a pretty good life. That's pretty cool.
That's nice. I love that for you.
That is cool. it seems like you're having fun with your life.
You have like friends that are also interested in this.
That's so true. I'm like, I'm just wondering about like your if you have kind of a base of friends who are around your age. Yeah. Yeah, because I think that is an important thing to have. I don't think having friends older than you is a problem. Like I have a lot of, friends who are, much like twice their age or something. I think that's different than having a relationship with someone older than you. But I think it is important to have like, a base of friends who aren't your partner.
That is true.
One, yeah, but also around your age.
Do you think she did the right thing?
Oh yeah, I think getting Trevor out of her life was an important thing for her, especially if like he this whole time has kind of been waiting. It seems like he's been waiting on Burke's downfall. Mm-hmm. He's like, she's eventually going to come to me, and then when it like wasn't happening, he's like, I'm gonna force the issue.
That is true.
Which is weird.
How do you think Burke and Trevor are gonna be in the workplace?
That's weird.
Because I
think
there's already been gossip before.
Yeah, true. Everyone's gonna know about this. That's so awkward for Trevor.
And if Trevor's like butthurt about it,
yeah, it's gonna be workplace drama. I would love to be at that work.
Really?
As like a bystander.
It's like just fly on the wall.
Like, oh my god, did you hear about Burke and Trevor? Drama.
She'd be stirring it up. She would be.
I would be. I'd be like, oh my god, like guess what I heard?
You know what I would love to hear?
This next story?
Yes.
My dad is dating my best friend. He promised to end it, but now has something to tell me. The ass is just too dank.
I choose all of my friends by their bodacious booties.
I, 21 female, am attending college about 6 hours away from my hometown. Unfortunately, my mom passed away at a young age, and my dad, 48 male, has been a single father to me for the past 8 years.
Okay.
That is tough.
Daddy needs a break.
He does.
Your mother has been in the ground decaying for years.
That is true.
She doesn't look as good as she used to.
My dad hasn't dated anyone seriously throughout the years, as he seemed to consistently indicate that all he wanted to focus on was being there for me. I've always encouraged him to put himself back out there, and when I left for school, I encouraged this even more as he would be an empty nester. Yeah, that's real. Like when your kid's an adult, when they're leaving the house, that's really when it's like, hey, get out there.
Do something.
Find somebody.
Find someone.
Be with somebody.
In your age bracket.
Since my freshman year of high school, I have had a really close friend, now 21 female, that has always been there for me and that I've spent a lot of time with.
Yikes. But I see you in the comments.
She attends a more local college that's only 20 minutes away from my hometown.
Oh, perfect.
This all started this past spring break in March when I went home and noticed that my dad was texting someone fairly regularly. I also saw the name that was texting him once and I didn't recognize it, but it was a woman's name. This is not common for him, so I figured he might be finally sparking up his love life after all these years.
Yes, daddy.
Oh God. I did not say anything about it because I didn't want to make him feel weird or uncomfortable about getting back out there. So she's letting him cook.
Yeah, let him cook.
He seemed happy, and I was happy on the inside as well for him. I said my goodbyes and I went back to school. A few weeks later, I just so happened to be looking at Find My Friends when I noticed that my friend was at my house.
Oh no. At the house.
Damn, got caught by Find My Friends. What a classic.
Damn,
what a classic
dude.
way to go down.
I mean, if she's at the house, like,
she's getting help on her homework. She was doing her laundry. It got stuck in the washing machine. She can't get it out.
Daddy, all my clothes are in the dryer. I
have nothing on. What am I to do? I thought this was strange since she doesn't necessarily live close by. It will sound naive at this point, but I honestly did not think that much of it. About a week went by and I decided to come home one day early for Easter in April because I just had a feeling that something was strange and I tried to catch my dad off guard a bit.
Uh-oh. We're
Plotting
getting for
and scheming.
Easter surprise. Second coming. Who?
Oh God.
For all our Catholic Christian people.
COVID-19.
Amen, brother.
Amen, brother.
Everything was normal and he was very happy to see me. I was planning on seeing my friend the next day for lunch. My dad and I spent the day together and then we started watching a movie. And then it happened.
What? What happened?
I saw an incoming text on my dad's phone and it was from my friend.
Oh God.
This was all I needed to see to place the last piece of the puzzle together.
Oh man.
My dad was going out with my friend.
So is she like immediately like, ew?
You have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in college, you're 21 years old, you're in college, you're a middle-aged father who has known your friend since freshman year of high school, is now dating her, is now getting with her.
Yeah, dude, that's a little weird.
But hey, we saw the name of a notification.
Yeah. We're jumping to conclusions. All we know, hey, she was doing laundry. She was doing laundry, and now she's like, hey, is my laundry done?
I was feeling pretty sick the next day, a little bit of faking it to avoid the situation, and I also just felt a bit uneasy about it all. It felt like a layer of trust was broken, and the other external details, such as their age gap and the already existing dynamic, made me cringe up a bit as well.
Yeah.
After 2 days at home, I took the next train back to school. I told my dad that I really had to ace an exam coming up, so I had to get back. I needed to leave the situation and think. Well,
I mean, what is there to think about? What do you do? I mean, like, probably talk to your friend and your dad.
You catch them in the act.
But if they're both consenting adults, like, there's not much you can do.
After thinking, I came to the conclusion that I am not okay with this relationship.
Yeah.
Which...
understandable.
Kind of fair. But the question, we'll keep going, but the question is, two consenting adults.
My mom started dating one of my friends secretly. I would feel pretty weird about my best friend.
Yeah.
My mom started dating Christian. I would feel weird about it. I would feel super weird about it.
So much context.
Yeah,
just imagine one of your parents dating your friends.
Yeah, I would. And both
especially
of them
of the
lied to
opposite
me
sex.
about it. I would be pissed. I would be pissed at my friend for being like, bro, why are you fucking my mom?
Dude.
And I would be pissed at my mom for fucking my friend.
It's not good.
And I get it. Like, Christian's a hottie, but dude, come on.
Yeah. At least over 30.
Yeah, I would be pissed. I would make them both aware that was not cool.
Right? I did not want my individual relationships that I had with each blended into one. I thought it was a bit gross. And the fact that above all, they knew they had to be sneaky validates.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how they knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
Which
100%.
probably made it so hot.
They had to be sneaky, and that validated my feelings that they should know better.
Yep.
I waited until finals were finally over a few weeks ago and finally called my dad and told him that I know and what my real thoughts are. He sounded very upset on the phone, sad, not at all angry, and told me that he understood and wanted to talk about it the next day so he could think. I have no clue what he was telling my friend, but I did not have any contact with her about this throughout these initial calls. The next day, my dad called and I talked. He was very apologetic and very understanding of why I was upset. but eventually came down and said that he would not stop seeing my friend.
They're in love.
Meet your new mommy.
Oh man, imagine,
Bro,
imagine.
They're already like best friends though. So like, you know, the stepmom relationship, it's so great, right? It's so perfect.
Oh,
They get to hang out.
Yikes,
Bro, I'm in the same classes as my stepmoms. I go to the same parties as my stepmom.
Yeah, this is my
like,
stepmom and best friend. Aw.
God, that would be so bad. He said that they had been seeing each other since the end of last summer and have been attached to one another, and he was not ready to forfeit. It was his first real connection that he had felt in so many years.
But like, really? You don't share any life experiences.
Yeah, they do.
She's in college.
I like ass. You have an ass. I held my ground and told him that I will not be seeing him or hanging out with him when I returned home for summer break until he ends this. It's a pretty big ultimatum. It has been 2 weeks at home with basically no interaction with him or my friend, aside from a text from my friend every other day requesting to talk in person or on the phone about it. I didn't respond to her texts or calls. Tonight, it came to a head. I returned home from dinner with a friend to find my dad and my friend awaiting me in my house. This was the most unpleasant experience I have ever had with my father.
That is so weird.
It's an intervention.
But like reverse.
Yeah.
Like the people who are fucking drinking and doing and are like,
You
"We
need to
came
drink
die."
more.
Exactly.
Come on.
You don't let us do this.
It ended with him crying and him saying that I should understand because I know how hard it has been for him. He also pointed out that I have been deeply encouraging him to put himself back out there, so I have to have some sort of sympathy for him.
Bro, when she said put yourself out there, not put yourself in my friend, dude.
That's not what she meant. After about 15 minutes of yelling, tears, and overall awkwardness, I stormed out and drove to another friend's house to stay for the night. I am too embarrassed to tell the friend I'm staying with the details and talk about why I left home or this relationship.
I mean, like, how do you even begin to tell a friend that?
100%. So I sat there for the past few hours and wrestled in my mind with whether I am being too hard on them or if I am in the right. Am I the a-hole here for not supporting this relationship or even tolerating it? And just a note, I have talked about zero details yet with my friend or dad about why they started going out, etc. I just know that it's been happening. I'm sorry for how long this is, but I'm very confused and I don't know what to think or feel. We have some listener
Updates?
comments. We have some updates.
Oh, thank God.
We have to pause right here. What does OP do?
Bro, I would be pissed. I would, framing it from it's Christian and my mom.
Yeah.
Or Christian and my dad for that matter. Christian and either of my parents. I would be absolutely pissed.
Yeah.
I would be so pissed at both parties. And it would completely change my view of both of them.
That's true.
Christian.
Right. You're gonna come home and
I'd be
just be like, "Hey,
Christian."
Christian." You're like, "What?" It's the same.
Stop
it's like
trying to fuck my mom.
Yeah. It's women having a dream of the guy cheating.
Yeah.
It's giving that energy.
Apologize.
Apologize
Yeah.
right
Apologize
now.
right now.
Oh my gosh. But we have some comments to read. So the original comment was deleted, but OP had a good response that we want to read to you. OP, thank you. I truly understand what you're saying and I agree with most of it, but he is my only support system / family I really keep in touch with. I can't really / I'm not ready to just cut him off like that. I just don't know how to move forward or what to do. I know this might sound stupid given the situation, but he really has been a perfect dad up until now. He's made so many sacrifices for me and I love him. This is so uncharacteristic and it really hurts. I totally get it. Like he's really, not only is your only family, but he's probably been her rock through this time of losing her mom.
Yeah.
At an awful age to lose your mom.
It would be so hard to just say, hey, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Like it would be impossible.
I really cannot blame her. I really can't.
Jeez, this is Christian watching
Come on.
you.
Well, let's get into the update. Before going into it, I want to address something. I want to reiterate, and I said this in one of the comments, that my friend and my dad did not have any sort of relationship / contact beyond waving hi and bye while I was in high school. So that's at least a relief.
So there was no grooming.
Yes.
That's good.
I appreciate that people are looking out for me and encourage me to consider that there was maybe something going on then, but I know that this was not the case. This was definitely not a grooming situation, which hopefully is a relief to many of you that were concerned about that. The conversation I had with my dad this morning confirmed that as well. So after reading a few of the comments this morning and cooling down a bit, I decided to just go home and visit my dad to try and have a conversation about it all. We have way too good of a relationship to not just hear each other's perspectives. I walked in at 8 when he's always drinking his coffee and watching the morning news. As soon as I opened the door, he looked at me and he looked like he had not slept.
Oh.
About 10 seconds after I walked in, with silence, he started crying pretty intensely. My dad is not usually emotional, and throughout the past 24 hours, I have seen him cry more than I have basically the rest of my life.
Oh, even after your mom died.
Even after her mom died. He basically stopped me from saying anything and just said that he wanted to explain himself and the situation. Last summer, my dad was at the gym when he ran into my friend. They waved hi to each other and he approached her because he wanted to ask if I had told her anything about my internship I had in another city for the summer. They talked briefly and then a month later, they saw each other again at the gym. This time, she asked him if he'd want to grab a coffee and he agreed because he knew that we, as an OP and her, were good friends.
So she's kind of escalating things. She seems to be the one gearing for it.
He swears that he had zero romantic intention going into this. Basically, he said that they just hit it off and had a really good time. It did not become mutually romantic until about a month later when they decided to get dinner. Once all this happened, my dad told her that he needed to tell me about it before moving forward. But my friend did not want to tell me yet because she was not sure how serious they would eventually be, and there was no point in making me feel uncomfortable for nothing.
I mean,
I see what she's saying,
but
no, I think you gotta tell.
Yeah,
you gotta let her know.
because if you even if it was a casual thing, it's just damaging for no reason.
Yeah,
if it's a casual thing, then you guys shouldn't do it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, fair point. Unfortunately, this way of thinking just continually progressed until it reached the point of now, nearly 9 months later.
And you know what happened 9 months ago?
Wait.
She's pregnant.
Oh, well, we would know. We would know. Well, actually,
maybe not.
She could be 1 month pregnant.
Yeah.
She could be 1 week pregnant. Whoa. Okay. Dang. That's a conspiracy theory I can't help but think about. Oh, God. He repeatedly said that he wanted to and should have told me from the second they even met up for coffee. Now for the awkward part. I will admit the part that was actually making me feel the most uncomfortable was thinking about their sexual relationship.
Woo! And it was deep.
Yikes. So I knew I had to be straightforward. I asked him how long they had been intimate. Shockingly, he responded that he has not done anything intimate with her yet.
They've been hanging out for 9 months in his house and they haven't done anything intimate.
Yeah, they're
just
making pottery,
Yeah.
Just molding that clay. He said that they had done other stuff and I stopped him from going into detail about it. Hope he couldn't. Throw your guesses in the comments below. What was other stuff meaning? Because we did not need to share that stuff with each other. When I asked him why he has not been intimate with her, he revealed that he has not been intimate since he became a widow, aka since Opie's mom passed away.
What's other stuff then?
Maybe making out, maybe like little first base. He will not do it until he knows that I would approve of the person that he is with. He then revealed that he had gone on a few dates without me knowing for the past 8 years, but did not think any of them were special enough to bring around. Not having hooked up with my friend even caused them to have a break last fall because my friend was upset that he wouldn't do it with her, but she eventually came around to accepting it. Hearing this really saved the image I have of my dad as a polite, respectful, mild-mannered man, which honestly, I will say that puts a lot of points in his corner.
Yeah.
He's not just grabbing a piece of college ass over here.
That is true. It actually, we were making a lot of jokes earlier, but it does seem like it is the fact that they weren't physical seems like the intimacy is a few layers deeper.
Yeah.
It's there's this emotional intimacy that they have that's seems strong.
Hard to fight love.
Hard to fight love is love.
I said in a few comments on the last post that this was all very uncharacteristic of him, and this information calmed a few of my nerves about the whole situation. Then the apologies began. He said he was nervous and panicked when I brought it up, that I knew about it, and he lashed out. He said he was trying to convince himself that he was not in the wrong and was glamorizing the relationship a bit to make it seem like I should be more understanding. Then he started crying again and hugged me and said that he wants to start over with my friend, with all of us on the same page, because he really does actually like being with her. He just wants to take it slow and dial back the seriousness a bit right now. I said that I would be open to that and that we could move forward from there with no secrets.
Wow.
She's in.
Yeah, so every time they're about to it's like, OP about to plow your friend.
Yeah.
No secrets.
Want to make sure we're totally good here. Total transparency.
Total transparency. If you could tune into the live cam right now.
I said it all.
Subscribe to our OnlyFans to get updates.
I just want to be honest with you.
I just want to be honest and transparent.
I also apologized for how reactive I was to it all at the moment.
Yeah, you don't need to apologize for that. OP.
No. While I still might not fully agree with the relationship, I am more open to seeing it play out / being tolerant now that I know more details. It felt like the father that I knew had returned.
Wow,
that is so sweet.
That's really nice.
I am meeting alone with my friend tonight. Hopefully there will be another update since she will verify everything that he said and on the same page as my dad and I with how we move forward. I will also say that I do not blame my dad for going out with someone my age. Yes, there is a weird dynamic to her being my age, and your best friend, low-key, high-key.
Yeah.
But I think we are all kidding ourselves if we say that he cannot be excited as a man his age to get attention from a younger woman.
Yeah.
There are so many older men, especially celebrities, that are attracted to younger women that I will not entirely hold that against them. That's a pretty fair and empathetic view from OP's part.
There was this like Onion article. It's like, shocking news. Leonardo DiCaprio, international celebrity, enjoys plowing young models.
Breaking news. Thank you for all your help and insight. This may have not gone nearly as well as I would have liked if I had not been able to have read some of your insights. I'm feeling surprisingly hopeful about the situation going forward. And there's an edit. There are many people convinced that I know every intricacy of the situation, and they for sure know what was true and false. But this is the moment where I realize that help from the internet does have its limits. That it does. Take it from two people giving help on the internet. I still want to thank everyone that is simply just trying to look out for me, but respectfully, I know that these people and certain histories / personality traits better than anyone else. None of this is ideal, obviously, and I'm not entirely okay or approve of everything, but I can tell you that I feel like I've made progress with the situation today. I probably won't be returning to this because now it seems like it's just being hashed out in outrage circles. Still, many of the things said on both this post and the last were very helpful, so I thank you guys. I will be okay and keep my wits onward and upward. And there's comments and an update.
Another update. I have a really quick question for the audience.
Yes.
Like, do you find it weird when like a 50-year-old dates a 20-year-old? Like the Leonardo DiCaprio situation, like, is that weird to you? It's a little weird to me just because I look at like college like girls, I'm like, I don't know if I could emotionally connect with those people.
Yeah.
So like being in like a relationship feels like weird.
I feel like 25 is that crossing point where like you have experienced more life and are like getting closer.
And that's when Leo cuts him off.
And that's when he cuts him off, dude. So it's like, what's he doing?
What's he doing? Yeah, I don't personally, doesn't make sense to me, but I would love to know like what everyone's opinions are on like 20-year-old girls with 50-year-old dudes and vice versa.
Yep. Oh, now the vice versa.
And the vice versa. You don't see it as much. I guess Madonna.
Like
hooking up with some 20-year-olds. Riley.
You know.
Yeah, hooking up with.
Yeah, all these
Riley
out
was
here.
rizzing up a 32-year-old.
You know,
recently.
It's hard for them to resist his young boyish charm, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's got it.
He's got it. Here's a comment from B Gummio. I hate to say it since there is a hopeful update, but that 27-year age gap is not going to play out well. For my friend, I would encourage her to date someone her own age in her own life experiences and certainly not my father. For my father, I would encourage him to date people his own age in his own life experiences, and certainly not anyone my age who is my friend.
Yeah, I mean that's my. I think like you don't share life experience, so like it doesn't.
Kind of tough.
Will it work out long term?
Even if they were strangers, play this age gap out. What happens when your friend wants to have kids? Your dad is going to be 50-plus-year-old new dad. Play it out even longer. That age gap puts the odds heavily in favor of your friend becoming a young widow herself eventually. Whatever the infatuation is, unless your friend is Nor Alfalfa, who has a thing for much older men, this just isn't going to end well if they continue. OP replies, if it doesn't play out well, then it doesn't. My biggest issue was breaking trust and keeping it a secret. I can't control what either of them do, which is true. I can control how I would like to be treated by them and how I will respond if the trust is broken again. Pretty mature, like thoughtful
these are very
response
mature responses
from OP. Another comment from Gold Olive 1883. Okay, with more details, I think your dad needs to be discouraged from dating your friend. Not because of the age gap necessarily or even the weird dynamic, but because I don't think she is able to be a good partner to him. Ultimately, it's his call. But for real, he shouldn't stick around to deal with whatever toxicity your friend will bring to the table. He will be hurt. He should find someone that is a better partner. Maybe your friend will be a good partner for someone in 20 years. Damn, that's a little cold. I don't know if I agree with that.
I guess what they're saying is like based on the decision to keep this from OP, that shows like an immaturity.
Lack of character. Right. And maybe the 20 years thing is like if your friend was like 20 years older and your dad was your dad right now, then it could work. But she's definitely not there right now. OP. Yup. I have warned him. I didn't just drop that I felt weird about their age difference. Rather, I told him why it probably won't work anyway. It is his choice. He will see the consequences, good or bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I mean, like, dude, also like he's going to be taking care of, or she's going to be taking care of him in diapers, dude.
Basically. We have the final update, but real quick, predictions. What do we think OP's friend is going to say when they meet?
I have a feeling that the friend is going to be a little toxic because there's no friend that goes and fucks your dad and isn't a little bit toxic, right?
Yeah.
Even though like the dad might be like a sweet guy. I think honestly,
because she initiated it.
You know what? If anything, I think the friend is taking advantage of the dad. Hot take.
I see you.
Hot take.
I see you. I mean, emotionally vulnerable, hasn't found someone.
Yeah. Wife died.
Here's someone who he cares about his daughter so much. Here's someone my daughter loves already.
Yep.
Wow.
I think we're going to get some chaos from the friend.
There's only one way to find out.
That's what I think.
Final update. So after my last post on here, everything seemed to go to a full stop. My friend and my dad decided to take a week away from each other, and my dad really made an effort to hang out with me. At the end of the week, the three of us had a sit down. It was mostly just for everyone apologizing to each other, how everything played out. And at the end, things just started to feel a bit more normal again. They agreed that they would take things very slow, and I agreed that I would not try and infringe on it. The biggest thing I noticed was that it actually seemed like they liked each other. I had built up in my head that it wasn't an actual relationship and that they would be doomed anyway. But I feel like I may have been wrong. Somehow it has already been 4 months since this all happened. Time went way too fast.
Whoa.
As the summer went slowly, they slowly started to get more serious and were publicly out and about by the time I was getting ready to go back to school. Her parents have now met my dad, and apparently that went really well, and her dad loves my dad. I mean, they have one thing in common.
Their age.
Their age.
Yeah.
Their daughters are the same age, you know?
That's crazy.
Wow.
As a parent, I don't know if I would be down.
That would be tough.
I don't know if I would be down.
Yeah, this makes me think of 90 Day Fiance, where they like go to the rural village that the person they're dating is in, and they're like, "Please, do you have my blessing?" And they're like, "Absolutely not! Like, there's no way I would give you my blessing."
Does that happen?
Yes. I went back to school, and they are fully dating now. They came up for a football game at my school a few weeks ago, and we had a lot of fun. They seem really happy. I get it. The age gap is weird, and I obviously had my reservations. situations, but it's the happiest I've seen my dad in a long time.
Wow.
We also have a really good time whenever I visited home this semester. The dynamic with my friend is a little different. We don't talk as frequently as we used to, understandable, but we still FaceTime every once in a while and check in with each other. Nothing has really changed for my dad. He still shows full devotion and interest in me and is there whenever I need him. Also, I still get one-on-one time with them, which I think has been really important. It's not always the three of us together. I can still hold my own relationship with both of them. At this point, I, or really anyone else, would look pretty stupid acting like their relationship shouldn't exist. I will probably always be adjusting to this new normal and getting used to their age difference, but I think we're all in a really good place and I trust them again.
Wow, I was hoping for more drama. But
didn't get it.
I am glad that there wasn't. I'm
Yeah.
glad that there wasn't.
You know, I think like given this situation, like they clearly is something going on
Yeah.
between the two of them. Like there's something is growing and burgeoning in their relationship. The best thing you can do, I think, is probably this. Like,
Yeah, and like this situation happens somewhat frequently.
yeah.
Like I have a friend they were doing a little road trip, and on the way to like Yosemite, their friend's mom lives there. And so it was like him, his friend, and like two other friends that were staying at this divorced mom's place. And the divorced mom was having a little party with like a family party with like her and a few of her cousins. And so my friend like made out with one of the cousins. And then
Oh no.
my friend's friend, not the guy that's mom it was, but my friend's friend went into a room with the mom. And then the other friend was like, hey, like, has anyone seen my mom and like Jimmy? He's like, I don't know. And they had fully hooked up. And Jimmy was like, oh, mom, like kind of like a mom, not again. Wow. I'll have to have my friend, when he's out of his Vipassana.
Has to call it.
Yeah, after he's out of his Vipassana meditation, we'll have to call him. Wow. But yeah, dude, like that happened. I'm like,
Bro, banging moms and doing silent meditations, dude. This guy is a
he contains multitudes.
He's a
He was
one
not
of
the one
one.
that banged the mom, to be clear.
Oh, he's the one
He-
who
he
his
hooked up with a
friend
cousin.
banged the mom.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. That's crazy. But yeah, how do we, real quick on this story, how do we feel about
I feel good
the
about how it
resolution?
ended up. Not ideal, but I feel good how it ended up.
Yeah.
I would love to know how everyone else feels. Like, do you feel resolved or do you feel like icky still? Yeah, should we get into this next story?
Let's do it.
My coworker accused my husband of grooming me, so I reported her to HR. Bad coworker.
That's a really bad accusation.
I, 30, have been with my husband, 40, for 6 years, and we've been married for 2. Recently, we got a new coworker. Let's call her Sarah, who seems really keen on helping others. By the way, this comes from Lace4151 on the OK Storytime subreddit. During lunch one day, Sarah and I were talking about relationships, and she asked about my marriage. I told her how long we've been together, and she got this serious look on her face. She said something like, you know, that age difference is a bit concerning. Are you sure he didn't groom you? I was completely caught off guard. My husband and I have a perfectly healthy relationship, and honestly, I intentionally sought out someone older because I like the stability and experience that comes with it. The idea of him grooming me just seems so absurd that I couldn't help it. I burst out laughing. I didn't intend to be rude, but it was just so ridiculous to me. Sarah mumbled something I didn't care to hear and left the conversation soon after. I thought it was over, but later I found out that she's been talking behind my back, telling the other coworkers that I was rude for laughing at her and that she was just trying to help. But what really got me was that she's been telling people to avoid my creepy husband at an upcoming work party as if he's some kind of predator. Now I'm starting to feel a bit guilty for how I reacted, but also kind of furious that she's bad-mouthing my husband who she's never met. So am I the a-hole for laughing when she suggested my husband groom me? And there is an update.
Also, like, what an absurd thing to say to somebody that you barely know.
Barely know.
I think your husband groomed you.
Yeah, like at work too.
Take me to a lunch dinner first.
Take me to a lunch dinner before you accuse my husband of grooming me.
Yeah, like that's a lot.
That's crazy. Updates. After my last post, things got worse with Sarah. She wouldn't stop making comments about my relationship, always bringing up how concerning the age difference was or making vague comments about grooming and power dynamics. At first, people politely listened, but after a while, she repeated it so often that people started to get annoyed. Even those who didn't know the full story could tell she was going overboard. As basically everyone suggested, I decided to email HR to address the situation. But I made it clear that I didn't want her to get in trouble, just wanted to resolve things and move on. HR was, well, HR, and they begrudgingly set up an informal meeting with both of us present. During the meeting, I explained how her comments were bothering me and that I felt they were inappropriate. Sarah's defense was odd. She started by saying she was just looking out for me and couldn't stand by and watch something bad happen. But then she got defensive, saying things like, "You just don't know what it's like to be manipulated. And I've seen situations like this go bad." She was basically implying that she was some sort of expert on relationships like mine without actually knowing anything about it. At first, I thought maybe she had experienced something like this and felt some sympathy. But honestly, I hate making assumptions about people's past, and due to her constant talking, I assumed it would have come out if it was actually the case. At that point, I asked her, "Sarah, how old do you think I am?" She looked a bit flustered and hesitated before saying, like 24, 25?
Bruh.
Which made no sense because I clearly look my age. I had to hold back my laughter again. When I told her I was 30, her face turned bright red and she didn't know what to say. The room got pretty awkward after that. HR stepped in and gently reminded Sarah that while it's okay to care about coworkers, constantly making unsolicited comments and spreading rumors wasn't appropriate. Sarah didn't say much after that and seemed pretty uncomfortable. She apologized, though it felt half-hearted. Since the meeting, she stopped making comments about my husband, but things between us have been pretty awkward. Yeah, I don't imagine they'll ever not be awkward.
Yeah, that's really bad.
At least the issue is resolved, and I'm happy HR handled it without escalating further. And some of OP's comments, a commenter says, "Are you sure you're not getting groomed though? Like really sure? Like really, really sure?" Sarcasm.
They're consulting adults.
OP says, "Only mildly sure now. Who knows? As a 24-year-old, I was a child." Sarcastic as well. Commenter says, "I think she may have been projecting. I know victims of grooming and other stuff who project when there is nothing wrong. They go overboard like her. It's awful what happened to them, but the Sarahs of the world don't have the right to try to mess up others' relationships." OP says, "I never thought she'd affect my relationship. My husband helped me write the first post and was also just as annoyed as me. However, he did call me the child, we like the Mandalorian, for a few days and gave a few apologies for allowing me to seek him out." And commenter says, "Maybe after the meeting she learned something? We can only hope. Don't judge a book by its cover or just learn to hold your tongue." And OP said, "I hope she did. As I said in my last post comments, she's a good worker, but while I involved HR this time, I will fire her if this happens again. She can say whatever she wants about me, but my husband is off limits." Commenter says, "You handled the entire situation with so much more grace than I'd have done. Sarah has hopefully learned a lesson, and this whole interaction with HR might prevent her doing it to other people in the future." OP says, "My first thought honestly was to go scorched earth, but I realized that wouldn't help anything. It was purely optics the way I went about it. I wanted to come off as Lace4151. OP doesn't tolerate slander towards his husband, but he also is willing to find a way to move forward. And moving forward, we would love you guys to join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Just tap our profile. And there is a little bit left to this story, but any closing thoughts?"
I'm going to give the person the benefit of the doubt that, you know, they thought this girl was way younger.
Yeah.
And they're concerned by this age gap. Like, I get it. I've seen people in like really big age gap relationships. And sometimes I also think like, going on here.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is someone you don't know that well.
You don't know. You also didn't know their age. You just kind of assumed. Commenter says, "Wow, I'm fully with you on this, but the hypocrisy on this sub is astounding. Normally in every post where there's a 10-year plus age gap and the girl was under 25 or the difference was smaller, but the younger one was 19 when the older one was 24, 25, 99.99% of comments, even if the question had nothing to do with the age gap, are people saying how the older person is sick, a groomer, a predator, or how he just wanted someone young enough to manipulate. And now here, all of a sudden, people are outraged that someone in real life has done what they normally all do hidden behind screens. I hope some of them will learn from your story that it's not okay okay to just accuse people they don't know of being bad people. Opie says, honestly, I agree. I was actually expecting people to agree with Sarah. It did help me though that I was the one who pursued him on a dating app and not the other way around. And that is the end of that story and also the end of this episode. But do you have any closing thoughts?
Don't
Double close?
assume.
Don't assume. Don't judge a book by
Lead
its
with
cover.
curiosity before you accuse someone.
And that's the moral of this story.
Yes.
We will see you next time. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
And we love you.
And see you tomorrow.